welcome to Better Planet Live. From finding out whether there really is a crocodile in Bristol to a vegan cooking showdown, we have a super program in store for you today. We hope you enjoy the show. But first, welcome to Nature's Guardians, where we learn about the beautiful planet we live in and how to protect it.
Hi, I'm Sophie.
Hi, I'm Jyoti Sri. Hi, I'm Emily.
Hi, it's Claire.
Hi, I'm Beth.
Today, we'll be buzzing into the world of bees, pollinators, and wildlife-friendly gardening here in Bristol. Why do bees matter? What's happening to our pollinators? And most importantly, what simple things can we do to be a bee guardian? Coming up, Jyotisri and Sophie will be speaking to the public to find out what they really think about bees. Sophie will be quizzing you on some bee names. Beth and Fleur will be getting crafty and showing how you can help at home. And we'll be meeting a special guest who really knows their stuff about pollinators. It's the end of No Mow May, a movement letting our lawns grow wild. Not mowing even small patches is super helpful for the month, providing food and shelter for all sorts of wildlife. But don't you worry, we don't have to stop there, as we're now heading into Let It Bloom June. Why not keep your mini wildflower meadow growing even longer? As pollinators are still hard at work, there's actually a whole calendar of monthly things you can do to help out and show you care for the bees. But what does the public think about this? Let's head over to Jyotisri and Sophie out in Bristol.
We're out across Bristol this week to see what people think about pollinators.
Have you seen any bees before? Bees?
No.
No? So it's a new thing for you to hear?
Well, I saw the beehive, but there are no bees.
Oh, are you excited or really wanted to see one maybe in future?
Yeah.
Nice. And have you seen bees maybe in picture? In
Nope.
books? No.
I don't have any.
Okay. Oh, it's okay because I can tell you. Maybe you can imagine. So it's in black and yellow, small, tiny creature that helps the plants.
I just wanted to talk to you. Do you know about the importance of pollinators? So I'll pass this around to you guys. What do they mean to you?
So with the obvious things about biodiversity and everything like that, which is intrinsically quite a good thing. Pollinators are very important for food for human beings, as well as sort of generally supporting food chains that don't involve human beings as well. It's the reason that we have all of these beautiful wildflowers. It's the reason the country looks as beautiful as it does. They're pretty vital for most of the things that we love, I think.
What would be your reaction if you see bees in front of you?
I have kind of a phobia of bugs, so I tend to run away from bees.
Okay.
But I think they're really important for the ecosystem, obviously. I
yeah.
just don't like being around bugs in general.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about the same. I think I'm a bit more comfortable with bumblebees just because, everyone's like, oh, they won't sting you. But otherwise, if it's regular bees, I'll also kind of run away. But they're obviously really important, like my
Yeah.
friend said. Yeah.
Okay. So you have specific type, which is
Yeah.
your that's cool. And you mentioned about the importance, right? So would you like to elaborate, like maybe like why is it like so important among us?
Because they're one of the biggest pollinators, obviously, and I feel like because of the lack of sort of wildflowers around, we're losing a lot of the different types of plants and stuff.
Do you know about the initiative of No Mow May and what that signifies?
Okay, I do.
Yeah, do you want to explain?
Yeah, so No Mow May is just mostly about, as far as I'm aware, not cutting your lawns, that kind of thing, during the month of May, which encourages growth of natural grasses and flowers and things that will attract a wider range of pollinators.
So now you're aware of what it is, do you feel like you take part, leave a bit wild? Do you want to hold it?
I don't have a garden, but if I did, I think I would participate in that. Yeah, sounds good.
Well, yeah, same like you. I also don't, but well, my mother back in India have a very big garden. I can tell her about this. She will be interested. Yeah.
Yesterday, remember? With a glass of water. Remember, and we put a bit of sugar in it because the bee was looking really unwell, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
We were looking after it.
Yeah.
And he drank it. Do you remember? His little nose came out and he drank lots of water. Make him feel better.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was so much fun going out and seeing what Bristol thinks about bees. But when we think of bees, species such as the honeybee or bumblebee may spring to mind. However, did you know there are more than 250 bee species in the UK? Now, I have a challenge for you. Can you tell bee from bluff in a segment I like to call To Be or Not to Be? If you scan the QR code on your screen now, you'll see the names of bee species. Or are they? That's for you to figure out. First up, we have red mason bee. Now, is this a real bee species? And we've also got the hairy-footed flower bee. Can you figure out whether this is bee or bluff? And finally, the Duke of Burgundy bee. Have a go at home, and we'll reveal the answers at the end of the show. So there are so many fun bee species out there that we can get to know. Unfortunately, nearly a quarter of bee species across Europe are at risk of disappearing completely. And you can see here how the wild bee species in the UK are also declining. As the human population rises, we are taking up more space, and we're needing this for our homes and to grow our food. However, this means bees are losing their homes, so we need to protect them. We'll be teaching you some creative ways later in the show to create homes for bees. But first, let's talk about why pollinators are important. We sent Emily out earlier this week to chat to Dr. Dave Lawson to learn all things pollinators.
Hi from the studio. We're here with Dave, an expert on pollinators. And we'd just like to ask a few questions to find out what exactly are they and why are they so important. So Dave, what is a pollinator?
Well, you get many different types of pollinators. I guess what they're sharing is their particular role where they are transporting pollen from one flower to another, and that helps the plants to reproduce and then to bear fruit and seeds. So you get lots of different types of pollinators, like the ones that we best know are the insects, but you also get pollinators that are mammals and birds. There's all sorts of things that are pollinators.
Yeah, so could you just emphasize a little bit why pollinators are important for all of us?
Yeah, well, pollinators are so fundamental to the ecosystems that we have on planet Earth. So the very fact that they're helping plants to reproduce means that so many plant species rely on pollinators in order to create seeds and create more plants. So lots of different plants rely on pollinators for that reason. And then because of that, there's all of the other species in the planet that rely on those plants. And more specifically to humans, around a third of the food that we eat is reliant on pollination. So things like strawberries and apples and even chocolate, they all rely on pollination at one stage. So these pollinators are really creating this this backbone to so many of our different ecosystems. They're so important, but they're also food to other organisms as well. So many pollinators are insects that will be eaten by birds, and they'll support the bird populations. There's so many different ways that pollinators are important. One of the risks at the moment is that there's not enough forage or enough food for pollinators because some of their habitats have been removed. So what can be really helpful for pollinators is planting bee or butterfly friendly flowers in your garden so that can supply food for them. You can leave areas of your garden and not mow them and just leave them alone, and then to see what kind of habitat and what kind of flowers grow in them, and that can be really useful for native pollinators. You can even leave little trays of water out on hot sunny days because pollinators get thirsty just like we do, so having some water out for them can be really helpful for them.
So you've shown us how important pollinators are. What would a world look like without pollinators?
Wow, good question. It would look so different. I think one of the things would be that there'd be so much less colour in the world without the pollinators helping all the 90% of plants to reproduce. We would lose all of these plants, and there'd be so much less kind of colour in the world, so much less diversity. The world would be more dull and the food would be more boring.
So we've already talked about how important Nomome is, and could you highlight why it's so important?
Yeah, so at different times of year, there's a different kind of availability of different flowers, which is the source of food for pollinators. And when pollinators are kind of going out into the environment, they're faced with this sort of constantly shifting marketplace of different flowers. And by people not mowing areas of their garden, that creates so much more choice and diversity and variety that supports lots of different pollinator species. So you're really supporting pollinators by engaging with Nomome, and through that you're helping all other areas of ecosystems.
Oh wow. So just to wrap up, could you share maybe your favourite bee species or a favourite moment where you've been with a pollinator?
Good question. I absolutely love a bumblebee. I can't get enough of them. Bumblebees for life, everyone. I think they're really great pollinators because they're so fluffy. They're really messy. So when they get into a flower and they get the pollen all over them, and then they move to a next flower, that's really good at transporting the flower. If you compare that to a butterfly, which I also love, because they have such long spindly legs, they're less effective as pollinators because there's kind of less surface area to connect the pollen to, whereas bumblebees, with their messiness and their fluffiness, are really great pollinators, but they're also just so charismatic and they have their own personalities, and I just love them.
Thanks, Dave. That was really interesting, and it just shows bees really are something to care about. Now, to find out how we can help them ourselves, we'll be heading over to the allotments and meeting Beth and how to revive a bee with some magic bee syrup.
Guys, and welcome to the allotment. Now, the weather has been absolutely boiling this week. I know that I've been overheating, and although during this sun we tend to see a lot of bees, our bees can also get a bit caught out by the heat. Now, when it's quite hot, it can be stressful and quite tiring, and it can make it quite difficult for them to find their way home, especially when they're laden with pollen, because this can make them 2 whole degrees hotter. But there are some really easy things you guys can do to help your local bees out. So the first thing you can do is you can make a little bee bath. So what you need for this is a shallow dish, some pebbles, and some water. So what you want to do is you want to place your pebbles in your dish, like this. And then you want to pour some water into the dish, nice and gently. Ooh. There we go. And making sure that the water level stays just below the pebbles. Now this gives the bees a really lovely spot to land on when they need a drink during these hot summer days. But I know that sometimes when it's sunny, water isn't quite enough, and I need a bit of sugar to get me feeling a bit more energetic. So another thing you can do to help out your bees is make a bit of sugar syrup. Now this is really good for a bee that's really struggling and needs to get back to the hive quite quickly. So you need some water, you need a bowl, and you need some sugar. So what you want to do is put 2 tablespoons of sugar into your pot. You then want to add a tablespoon of water and mix this really nice till it becomes a nice thick syrup. There you go. Now this is an absolute energy boost for a bee. And what you want to do then is take a spoonful of your sugar syrup and then just place the spoon next to your bee. Now, when you do that, your bee will be able to have a drink, and you want to leave this out for about 30 minutes to give them the time to be able to do so. But as good as this is for the bees, it's important to not leave this out any longer than 30 minutes. because as good as the sugar is, you don't want them to become reliant on the sugar food source that we're giving them. So you want to make sure that you and your grown-up take that back inside. So now you have a few tools for your Guardian first aid kit, and you can look after some of your local bees. Now, earlier this week, we set Emily and Fleur the challenge of trying to see as many bees as they could around Royal Fort. So let's go see how they got on with that. Hi guys, it's Emily.
I'm Fleur, and this week's challenge is all about bees.
We've got 1 minute to spot as many as possible in Royal Fort Gardens.
And we're going to be going head to head to see who can find the most.
In Royal Fort, we've seen some bee-friendly flowers, and it looks the perfect place to see lots of bees.
We've got a handy ID guide here with us, so hopefully we spot a couple of different species.
We're pretty excited for this one. So good luck, Fleur.
Good luck, Emily. Hey team, I'm on my way. Feeling pretty good about this week's challenge. Stayed up late last night revising the bee guide, so I think we're in for a winner here. Emily, here I come.
Hi guys, I'm just on my way to take on Fleur, and I'm honestly feeling a bit nervous about this. Fleur really knows her bees. I know she's been revising, so we'll see who's about to win.
Okay, Emily's run off that way. I think I'm going to stick close to home and see how many I can get in this bush over here. Oh my god, there's loads. Okay. We've got some honeybees. There's 2. We've got a bumblebee.
This is definitely the best patch for pollinators.
Down there.
Here's one bumblebee over
5.
there.
Oh, there's so many. There's another one over there. Okay, I think I'm doing pretty good so far. That's about 6. Oh no, there's no flowers over here. What? I'm gonna have to run somewhere else.
There's another.
Hello, any bees? There's a bumblebee.
There's another. Hi guys, that's us done, and gosh, am I knackered after that little run.
What was your strategy?
Well, I went round the corner. I thought I saw a really good spot earlier, and I'm going to take the risk and go round. How about you?
I went a bit closer to home, and I think I'm pretty happy with my numbers. We go back to our nice ID sheet. Saw a nice white-tailed bumblebee. Saw a nice red mason bee, and a couple of honeybees. I'm feeling pretty good.
Wow, round the corner it was just bumblebees, but I love them, so we can be happy with those.
Okay, big reveal time on 3.
Let's go.
3, 2, 1,
3.
8.
Yes. Okay, so I guess you won this time, Fleur, but
Yep.
we'll see next week.
Bye.
Wow, that was amazing to see all the different species of bee you guys were able to find earlier this week. Now, you might have noticed in some of the videos that there was loads and loads of flowers about, and the bees seem to really love them. Now, like Dave was telling us earlier, flowers are really good for bees. So we are going to make some bee bombs. And now this is a great way that you can get some more flowers growing in your garden or on your window box and make your own little wildflower meadows to support your local bees. So to start, we need some compost, we need some powdered clay, we need some wildflower seeds, and then you just need some water. So we're going to start by putting in about 100 grams of compost into our bowl. And then we're going to add about 200 grams of powdered clay. And then all of our wildflower seeds. Now that might not have looked like a lot, but there should have been about 500 seeds in that little plate. Now you want to try and mix this really well. I love this craft because you get to use your hands and get nice and messy. But you want to be careful while you're doing this not to get dust in anyone's eyes. Now, when you've mixed all that together, you're going to add a bit of water. Now, you want to do this a teaspoon at a time just so the mixture doesn't get too wet, because you want it to end up being a Play-Doh consistency. So I'm going to start with 3 teaspoons of water, give it a mix and see if I need any more. Now, these seeds are really good because we have a mix of lots of native wildflower seeds. So we had some cornflower seeds, some marigolds, some forget-me-nots, some poppies. My mixture is still feeling a little bit too dry, so I'm going to add another 2 teaspoons of water. Let's see how it goes. Now, turning these into little balls and mixing the seeds with the soil and the clay is really good because it means that the seeds stay protected when we put them out in our garden. There's another 2 teaspoons of water. Now, what might want to eat the seeds? You might be asking. Well, we've got lots of ants about, and mice also quite like seeds. So by mixing them all together, you can protect them from seed predators. Now, I think I need 1 more teaspoon of water, and then I think we might be ready to turn these into some seed bombs. I'm going to go for 2 just to be safe. There we go. So you can see my mixture is now all clumping together, which means with my dirty hands, I can now combine all this soil together, give it a bit of a roll, and I have produced a little seed bomb. So you can make a ton of these. And when you're done, you can scatter them on any soil in your garden or in your window box. And if you don't want to use them right now, that's also okay. You can store them in a nice dry spot, and then they should keep for a couple of months, which is really good. But now that we've made a couple of seed bombs, we are going to head back over to the studio where Fleur is going to teach you guys how to make a bee house so that we can protect our local bees in another way. See you guys later.
Fanciest hotel in town. I've done some stickers and tape on mine. Let's get our paper now. This can be plain or coloured paper. Bees love bright colours. I've got some pattern paper here. Line your can up against the paper and draw a line down the sheet. Now we cut our paper strips to this size. These will be the straws we put in our can, acting like hollow plant stems and wreaths bees love to live in. Make sure to be careful using scissors cutting away from you at all times. Okay. Now grab one of the sticks or your pencil and place it on the paper. We're going to roll this strip into a tight tube like a burrito so our bees can be snug as a bug. Perfect. Now get some tape. I've cut some and tape our paper so it stays rolled. After we've made a few of these tubes, we can start filling our empty cardboard rolls with them. Make sure you pack them tightly so they don't budge when the bees move in. Bee hotels like this are perfect for solitary bees, like leafcutter bees or mason bees, who don't live in big beehives. They are super important pollinators that help plants out in early spring and so are very deserving of some beautiful homes. Keep adding rolls of paper until the tube is full. Mix and match the colours. Once you have a few toilet paper rolls, we can pop them into our can. Like that. Fill in the gaps with other rolls and put some of the sticks in if it's a bit loose. Keeping it compact stops wind from getting in and keeps it nice and dry. Now we could stop at this point, or you could add some string if you wanted to hang up your hotel. If you want to hang it, tape a nice long piece of string to the top of your can and tie a knot at the top. You might need some help from a grown-up with that one. And voila, here we go. We have a beautiful bee hotel, I've called mine B&B, perfect to pop in your gardens, on windowsills or at an allotment near you. Now, let's go chat to Joe Tissery and Emily, who are finding out just how bees see.
To us, flowers look just pretty. Not only pretty, but nice colors, lovely petals. But to bees, it's completely different. It's like they're wearing a special go-go. Bee can see ultraviolet light, something that human cannot see naturally. For us, it's just yellow, but for bees, it may see like a glowing landing saying that free nectar this way.
Scientists actually believe that these UV rays help sense pollen and nectar. So what seems just like flowers to us looks completely different to a bee.
Wow, that was so much fun. Now I know you're all waiting for the results to be or not to be. So let's have a look. So first up, we have the red mason bee, and this is a real bee species. Next up is the hairy-footed flower bee, and again, this is a real bee species. And finally, I got you to guess Duke of Burgundy, but this is not a bee species. Actually, this is a butterfly species. So that is everything from us here today. Thank you for listening. Remember to go out and be nature's guardians. And it's bye from me and the gang. And next week we have, next up we have Wild Watch.
Hello and welcome to Wild Watch Bristol. On this episode, we are celebrating International Wildlife Photography Month, and we've been asking you to send in your best photos. We're excited to take a look at these and show them to you later.
We are currently in the media suite of the Life Sciences building in the University of Bristol, and today we will be looking at wildlife in urban spaces and a little closer to home in your own gardens.
In fact, it's Wildlife Week for Gardens. For those of you that want to get into photography and videography, you're in the right place. If not, you'll be learning about some of the iconic characters of Bristol.
We will be heading down to Bristol Harbourside to spot some birds and give you all some tips on how to record these fascinating creatures. But first off, the fastest bird on the planet. We will be broadcasting live from North Bristol. And can we have some guesses as to how fast this feathered falcon can fly?
Please scan the QR code and start sending in your guesses. Any guess? Please keep guessing. Alfie, what are you doing?
Well, Maya, it's actually 2026 marks 100 years of live TV and 100 years of our Lord and Saviour, David Attenborough.
He is an incredible man. Now, keep those guesses coming in, please. Keep them coming, and in the meantime, to tell us about these incredible birds, we have Matteo and Hannah live speaking to us now.
So thanks everyone in the studio. We're now live in Avon Gorge talking to a real life filming professional. Matteo, would you like to give yourself a little introduction and also why we're here?
Yeah, so my name is Matteo Clark. I'm a wildlife filmmaker, camera operator, and I'm also the co-founder of Wild Reach Productions. And we are out here on the outskirts of Bristol filming peregrines.
Amazing. So what is your personal experience of filming this amazing bird?
Yeah, I absolutely love filming these birds. I mean, as we mentioned, they're the fastest birds in the world, and being able to come out just from outside the city, 10-minute cycle, and you got this amazing landscape and just some amazing birds with some amazing behaviours. Yeah, it's really cool.
And so if the general public want to come out and see the birds, but also film or photograph them, what's your experience for them doing this?
Yeah, so you want to come out to areas like this because birds like peregrines will love cliff faces. So, you know, there's loads of cliff area here, so you might find some, and even in town, you know, on the massive buildings, you might see some peregrines as you're walking through. And then obviously a long lens is always helpful to get that nice zoom on the bird, and a tripod for stability. But if you don't have that, you know, and you have your phone, if they're flying past, might as well try and get a quick snapshot of them because, I mean, they're really cool birds. But if you do want to get your hands on kit like this, you know, there's loads of kit hire places around the town, so it makes it a bit more accessible, and then you can just learn it on YouTube. That's how I did it, and just get out there and basically practice. It makes perfect. So I'm out here practicing every single day.
Nice.
To try and get that perfect shot.
Amazing, thank you. And so we'd love to show you the chicks, but the location of the chicks in the Avon Gorge is highly classified.
So you know, classified as it's not top secret.
But
it is a Schedule 1 legislation. A protected bird, which means that, you know, we have to be very careful around its nesting sites. So, you know, there is a nest somewhere on that side, but we're not going to divulge exactly where it is because we want to minimise the disturbance, especially at this time of year where the chicks will be fledging, and you know, there's a really critical point for peregrines at the moment.
Yeah, that's really good to know as well. So personally, what's your best local experience of filming the peregrines?
Yeah, so my favourite moment I've ever had, what I shared with these peregrines, was actually right here. It was a few years ago, and one of the peregrines came really high up and then went into a stoop. So the stoop is actually when they maximise into the fastest they can be. So we talk about how, you know, they're the fastest bird in the world, and seeing them actually in action was pretty surreal. It was pretty hard to film, but I think I got some of it. And yeah, it was incredible to witness it 15 minutes away from where I live.
Oh, amazing, cool. So yeah, it's really accessible for the public in general to come and see these and film and photograph them themselves as well. So yeah.
Come up.
Oh, amazing.
I might be here.
Actually. And yeah, so thanks for your time, thanks for speaking with us. I've now got to get back to the studio, so yeah, I'm going to run, but have a lovely time filming.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, they're active.
Thank you, Matteo, for speaking with us and giving some really great advice.
Let's have a look at the poll and see what answers are coming in. Right, let's have a little look. See if we can open it. Right, we've got a lot. We've got 5 miles an hour, 1,000 miles an hour. That is pretty quick. We've got 160 miles per hour, and someone else is saying 80 miles per hour. Wow. That's some pretty good guesses, but are we ready for the answers? Now, Matteo did mention it for you, for the falcon-eyed amongst you, but peregrine falcons can reach speeds that exceed 200 miles per hour, with the fastest record being 240 miles per hour. We really do have some insane wildlife in the UK, but how do we capture it?
That's a great question, and today we have a selection of cameras to go through with you. So, starting off, this is actually my first camera here. This is a Lumix TZ100. We also have a GoPro and underwater housing. Now, GoPros are great for beginners. If you're a fish fanatic, this is the camera for you. Steve Simpson and Hugo Harrison if you're watching. But over here, this is a slightly more professional camera. This is a Lumix GH5. And what's good about this is it really helps you to get that cinematic depth. It gives you much better control over the exposure triangle. But really, you can buy the body and the lens separately. So the body's about £1,000 and then the lens will be separate as well.
And I'm noticing that the lens is pretty big. So does size matter?
Well, for everyone watching at home, I'm afraid to say that in this industry, size does matter. Generally, if you're a wildlife cameraman, you're looking at a lens between 200 and 600 millimeters. That's the best to get those close-up shots of wildlife. But actually, the human eye seems about 50 millimeters. So you also got potential to get shorter lenses as well.
Nice. And I'm seeing all of these expensive cameras, but what if you just have your phone? What can you do with that?
Yes, your phone's actually really good. It's really good for that night photography as well. For those of you with a significant other, or if you're at those tourist attractions, you really want to nail the iPhone, because then you get those Instagram quality pictures. So over here, if we have the phone, what a lot of people miss is if you tap this top-down button, you actually have a range of more options coming through. You can actually extend the aspect ratio into 16:9, which gives you that much wider picture. You also have, if you go to video, what a lot of people miss in this top corner over here, you can actually tap this button to switch it to 4K. There's also this little 60 thing, that says 60 frames per second. You don't actually need that much unless you're going into slow motion. So you can tap this and go down into 24 frames. And that's what you'll be viewing on your TV.
Awesome. Thank you for showing us your tips and tricks. Right, now let's have a look at where Hannah is. We really need her presenting for the end of the show. Let's see.
I'm hearing that she's just leaving the Downs at the moment.
Oh, yeah. I know, it's a pretty long way away.
There she is. She's zooming.
Oh, there we go.
Down.
Looks like she's going pretty fast.
Will she make it in time? That's the question.
Well, earlier this week, Michaela put some of the camera tips that me and Alfie just talked about to test. She went to the harbour side to film some wildlife on her phone. Let's see what she's been up to.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm here at Bristol Harbour side on a glorious May afternoon, and I'm here to take some photographs and hopefully catch some film of the wildlife in and around our beautiful harbour here in Bristol. Now, I don't have any fancy kit. I don't have a fancy camera, a tripod or telephoto zoom lens. I'm going to be using what we all have in our pockets or in our bags, a trusty smartphone. Now, smartphones have come a long way since they first came out. You can get smartphones with optical zoom, 3 different lenses, but as you can see, my smartphone just has one lens. It's a very old smartphone, a Google Pixel 5, but nonetheless I'm going to try and take some of the hints and tips that Alfie gave us and use those to capture some spectacular footage of the wildlife here in the harbour. So without further ado, I'm going to continue. I just saw you taking a photograph. Was that of wildlife?
It was indeed, yes. The lovely cygnets down there. 5 new cygnets, only 5 days old as well. I just think it's such a wonderful thing to share with people.
Yeah.
You know, you capture that moment in time and you can tell, it just tells a story which you may never come across again. So I think it's really marvellous, and you can go and just show people that aren't here to see it always.
Do you often take photos?
I do like to go out and take photos. As I say, it's a good way to capture things and share it with people that might not always be in the same location at that time, especially in the city, you know, and seeing cygnets like that and along the water.
Oh, I can't wait to have a look.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Wow, what an afternoon. Well, we saw some moorhens, we saw some baby moorhens, seagulls. We didn't get to see the cygnets, but never mind. I did my best to take some photographs with my old trusty smartphone, bit of footage. But regardless of the quality, the thing that really made it for me was being out in the nature and actually just focusing on the wildlife. Really enjoyed it, and I recommend you all get out there with your smartphones or just walk around and just see what there is. So although I didn't get to see the cygnets, Maya did, and she took some fantastic photographs of them. If only I'd walked just a little bit further, I might have seen them too.
Ah, didn't we have fun down by the harbour side, Michaela?
Oh, I absolutely enjoyed myself. And what beautiful weather as well. I really enjoyed being outside by the harbour, listening to the nature. But I'm so sorry I missed the cygnets.
Unfortunately, that's just wildlife filming for you. Right, the moment you've all been waiting for. We've asked you earlier this month to send in your best wildlife photos.
And they've been coming in thick and fast. Oh, are we ready to see our photos? Yes, our top 4 are coming in, and it's up to you to choose the winner.
So please use the QR link below to vote for your favourite.
And we'll announce the winner at the end of the show. So,
let's have a look at photo number 1.
Oh, wow, it's a fox. Oh, it's so cute. It looks like it's sleeping. Can we, do we have fox, the picture number 2?
Whoa! A squirrel, and it's so close up too. They are so cute.
So cute.
What about photo number 3?
A woodpecker. Oh, is this a great spotted woodpecker? I'm not so sure, but I do love a woodpecker. And what about our 4th picture? Do we have our 4th picture?
Whoa! I love that spider t-shirt.
Oh, me too. But I have to say, Maya, I'm absolutely petrified of spiders.
Me too. They do freak me out. But last night, Toby overcame his fears by getting face to face with one of the scariest spiders in the UK. But before we have a look at that, let's catch up and see where Hannah is on her bike ride.
Oh, bless her. She's pedalling hard, isn't she? Oh, no, there she is. I can see her. Oh, go on, Hannah. Go on. Oh, I hope she gets to the studio in time. She's got a segment. Oh, my goodness, she's on the grass. Oh, my
gosh, she's in for a bumpy ride.
Oh, you're telling me.
Do you think she can do it?
It's
going to be a bumpy ride.
I hope so. I hope she doesn't meet any dog walkers.
Let's hope she gets it.
If you live in or around Bristol, you've likely seen some weird tube-shaped webs in your wall or in your garden. And these are home to the tube web spider, one of the largest and most ferocious spiders in all of the UK. Now, they likely arrived in around 1845 in shipyards, and since then they've spread to much of the southwest of the UK, including our home here in Bristol. Now, this wall is home to dozens of tube web spiders, and they lay trip lines outside of their webs and wait with extreme patience for an unlikely insect to walk along and trigger it. Let's see if we can get some out. These animals experience the world around them with touch. So let's see what happens when I trigger one of the tripwires on their web. That was pretty quick, but their speed makes them incredible insect hunters, controlling the populations of flies and moths around your home. This poor moth strayed a little too close to their web. Now, while they look terrifying and have a formidable reputation, I want to show you that these spiders are not nearly as scary as you might think. Now, the females spend nearly their whole lives in their little webs and they barely leave them, but between May and July, the males go out searching for mates. And I happen to find one just on this wall right here. Now I've got him in this glass, and you can see he is quite a large spider. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him on my hand, and I want to show you that if you're calm and respectful, that these spiders really do not want to hurt you. Now, I want to say, do not try this at home. These animals are venomous, they have a painful bite, and for yours and the spider's safety, please do not repeat this. But I'm going to put it on my hand, and I think I might find that he actually does not want to even touch me. I'll gently coax him down. See, he does not actually want to leave the glass very much. Now here you can see I'm remaining calm, and I'm just a surface for this spider to walk on. And he is probably a bit confused, but means me no harm. Now, he's quite a large spider, and they're some of the largest in the UK. And they do have big fangs that are iconically green. They have these green chelicerae. But he is quite happy just sitting there on my hand. Now what I'll do is I'll return him to the wall where I found him, where he can keep looking for a female to mate with. So let's see if he wants to go back onto the wall. And off he goes. If that's as scary as it gets, then it's really not that scary. So if you find one of these guys in your home, simply get a container and a piece of paper and put it outside safely for it to live the rest of its life. All right, now my garden certainly has some interesting wildlife, but we can always make our outdoor spaces better for nature. So another thing, keep sending in those votes we want to see at the end of the episode. You have a big garden with lots of plants or just a windowsill, there are lots of little things that you can do to make it more nature friendly. Potted plants are a great way of doing this. Insects absolutely love them and they attract a lot of pollinators. I like to plant UK wildflowers because they're super easy to grow in the UK. They're made for these conditions, and the insects that we have here have also evolved with them, so they're really good for them. Now, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So, as you can see, we've got a large pot filled with just general purpose compost. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my wildflower seeds, and it's filled probably about 4/5 of the way up. And I'm going to pull them out of my hand and sprinkle them nicely in the pot. Now, we need to put a little bit of compost on top of these. So, get in the bag, and we'll do a little sprinkling, about 1 centimetre, just to cover them all up. Now, once you've done this, water these, give them tons of water, and put them out in plenty of sunlight. Now, a lot of the UK wildflowers, they like plenty of drainage, because they'll rot otherwise. So make sure they've got holes in the bottom of the pot, get them outside, and get them in lots of direct sunlight. There you go, look at that. So now, we've seen how you can make your gardens better for wildlife. But what about the wildlife that skulks in the night? Well, last night, Alfie went down to the city centre to look at some of Bristol's nightlife. But also, have we got a Hannah update? Something in. Sounds like she's waiting down Downs and she won't be here in too long. All right, let's have a look at last night.
been an absolutely baking day here in Bristol, but now the full moon's out and I'm on the hunt for one of the city's most charismatic characters. Oh, these opportunistic omnivores are becoming super abundant here in Bristol, with as many as 16 per square kilometre. I am, of course, talking about the red fox, although this one is actually a cub. Let's go and find a live one. Look, we've got a fox. Oh, it's just through there. So this one that we've got here looks pretty healthy. Generally they weigh about 5 to 7 kilograms, but we've got to be super quiet because foxes actually have really good hearing. They can hear about 30 meters away. So we've got to keep our voices down to not disturb this one. It's actually bin night tonight in Bristol. A lot of these guys were going from bin to bin. These foxes in Bristol actually get about 35% of their diet from human sources, and that's compared to about just 6% in the rural areas. Look, this is a beautiful, beautiful animal, but really, unfortunately, road traffic accidents are a major issue for foxes. 11 are killed every hour, and 70% of these foxes won't make it to their first birthday. So yeah, the road collisions are a huge problem in the UK for foxes.
But there are different things that we can do as humans to help the wildlife move around. And one of these is creating wildlife highways. So, for example, at the bottom of fences, you can create little gaps where things like hedgehogs and creatures like hedgehogs can move around, and they can move to up to 1 mile every night. So this is really important to make sure that they're not divided up, the territory isn't divided up by things like walls. And yeah, it's just all about paying the wildlife in our cities and in rural areas a little bit more respect.
In one piece.
Yes.
How was the journey coming down?
Quite chaotic. Yeah, I basically did the whole of Bristol.
I tell you what, you take a breath. Take a breath. I saw that you had a really interesting chat with Matteo, and you even saw some peregrines. How amazing was that?
No, I had a great time, and I did get back in time as well, in time to announce the winners of our photo competition.
That's right. You've been sending in your votes, and it's now our pleasure to announce the winner.
And the winner of the May Wild Watch 2026 photo competition is Tristan!
Oh wow, congratulations, and thank you to everybody who participated and sent in their photos. We've had a great time looking at them, and a huge thank you to everyone that has tuned in and taken part in today's episode.
Yes, of course. And we've seen some of the beautiful Bristol wildlife, how to film it yourselves, and also improve their habitats to help us coexist. Next up, now that you know how to film wildlife and that it doesn't always go to plan, you may just see something unexpected. Maybe it will be reptilian? Find out more in the next episode. You've been watching Wild Watch. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Good evening and welcome back to Beastly Myths, the show where we uncover the fables, fallacies and fictions of our animal world. It's so good to see you and happy World Alligator Day. Today is a day to celebrate these resilient creatures and raise awareness of their crucial role in wetland ecosystems. To celebrate, we have for you today a croc-spiracy theory. That's right folks, a crocodile lurking in our local UK waters. But a crocodile and an alligator are not the same thing, I hear you say. Now, if in fact you did say that at home, you'd be absolutely correct. Alligators and crocodiles are both a part of the crocodilian species, which contains crocodiles, alligators, gharials, and caimans. They can be easily mistaken for one another, as they all look long, scaly, and terrifying, much like your old Uncle Colin. But you can tell the differences here if you look at their snouts. The alligator has a much thicker, rounder shape compared to the more V-like structure of the crocodile. And, well, the gharial just looks weird. So you would never catch an alligator here, as they live exclusively in China and the US. On that note, you wouldn't normally see any crocodiles living here either, but over in Bristol, a bus driver claimed to have spotted one whilst driving on his usual route on the number 90 bus from Cabot Circus to Philwood Park. Since then, the crocspiracy theory has only grown, with more people claiming to have spotted the creatively named Bristol crocodile. He has now been a muse for multiple pieces of artwork throughout the city and become a beloved character in books, films, and in the hearts of many a Bristolian. Where would a crocodile have come from, though? We will be revealing this and more throughout the show. Until then, whilst you're watching, we'd love to know what your favourite crocodile fact is, if you think your croc knowledge is up to scratch. Just scan the QR code on screen and start sharing. We'd love to get your thoughts, so anything you can think of, and we'll go through them later in the show. Coming up, we've got expert opinions, public opinions, and deep dives into whether it's possible that the Bristol croc could truly exist, as well as some safety tips for if you ever accidentally encounter it. But first, where and how did this rumour start? To find out, let's head over to our very own Charlie Williams, live in Bedminster. Over to you, Charlie.
Thank you, Connie. So I'm here at the site where the Bristol croc was initially first sighted. So in 2014, bus driver Jolyon Rea was driving across the Bedminster Bridge, as you can see behind me, when he claims to have spotted the crocodile itself. Now, others have accused him of only seeing a log, and to that he says, logs don't wiggle. A completely fair point, because on today, a scorching day, you can imagine looking down and seeing a croc lounging in the mud. They're cold-blooded, so they spend a lot of their time sunbathing before retreating back to the depths of the river. These guys can hold their breaths for about 1 to 2 hours, but Jolyon claims to have seen it swimming across the surface. And since 2014, many others have come forward to say they've seen something like it. The most recent being January of this year. To dive deeper into this subject, we're going back to Harry in the studio.
We've had a brief introduction to the legendary Bristol crocodile, but where did it come from and where did it go? As Charlie mentioned, the story began in February in 2014. A bus driver checked his wing mirror and saw what looked suspiciously like a crocodile. He called the authorities, who conducted an extensive search for the creature, but to no avail. The croc had vanished into thin air. Just 2 days later, Kelly Graceworth from Bishopsworth announced that she had seen the beast by the harbour. This made headlines all across the UK, with more people claiming to have seen the mysterious crocodile for years later. Tamara Blanco, a local shop assistant, was the first to capture it on camera while out on a jog. She saw it by the suspension bridge and claimed that her hair started to stand on end. But like all photos of cryptids, her pictures of the infamous croc were blurry. Much more recently, Jimmy Edge and his colleague Marcus encountered the unexpected guest during their lunch break. Edge shot some footage of the croc, but was too busy getting his own lunch to bother trying to become the crocs. In 2017, police received another report about a crocodile from a Bristol water engineer, and this time they actually found a culprit. But it wasn't a crocodile. It was a 2-foot-long caiman that had been abandoned at a lake. It was rescued by the RSPCA. But have these reptiles actually been abandoned? The bus driver who first sighted the crocodile was later informed by police that they had found the crocodile in local drug dealers' houses. These drug dealers had been releasing these animals when they grew too large for comfort. Unfortunately, this isn't an isolated case. Just earlier this year, a raid of an Australian drug dealer's house revealed multiple exotic animals, including a 1.3 meter long crocodile. An even more extreme case found Amsterdam drug lords guarding their various heaps of firearms, drugs, and cash with crocodiles. This trend of drug lords owning exotic animals could be attributed to Pablo Escobar in the 1980s. After his death, his hippos escaped into the wild and are now causing widespread ecological damage to the area. This release of wild animals into their non-native environments are very harmful, both to the animals themselves as well as the habitat. If that is truly what happened in Bristol, it's a very serious problem. But do the locals actually think that there's a croc running around on the loose in Bristol? Connie went out and interviewed a bunch of people across the city. Let's find out what they think.
We're here today in Bristol to see what the public think about the Bristol croc. Is it real or not? Let's go. Firstly, have the public heard of the Bristol crocodile?
I have indeed heard of the Bristol crocodile.
I have. Yeah, I've heard of it. I've heard of it.
Yeah?
No, not really.
Nah, vaguely.
No. No. How did you hear about it?
I think I might have seen it on Bristol 24/7. Then I saw the hilarious public warning signs around the harbour side.
Where we are in Castle Park, yeah, there's a little statue. But I haven't seen it swimming around, no.
I've seen videos on Instagram.
No, I've seen it. I've seen it with my eyes. But it was fake. There was no way it was real. Definitely AI generated.
Yeah. Now, of course, there's a bit of skepticism as to whether the Bristol croc exists. But do they think a crocodile could live in this river?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Can't say why not.
Maybe, but I cannot see anything living in that river.
I mean, what would it survive on? It's not exactly, it hasn't got big game to hunt.
So is it meant to be a freshwater crocodile then? Right. Yeah. Not that water's very fresh, don't think.
Some are more adamant than others. Do you believe it could live here in this river?
No, I don't really believe it, but I think it's great.
I think so. Yeah, it's pretty. You know that filthy water is pretty damn murky. Anything could be hiding in there. Hundreds of years of industrial waste. It's like some mutant beast by now. So, God knows. Yeah.
I don't see why they wouldn't. I'm more against the idea that there is one there.
Yeah. There's been stranger things in Bristol for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I've definitely told as many people as I can about the fact that we might have our own weird cryptid. If a crocodile is a cryptid, I suppose.
Would you go?
Why they opened it up for swimming? I think that's a mistake by the council. Frankly, pretty vicious. The council should bloody do something about it. It's a terror and it's on the loose. Pretty vicious.
Just a side note, the reports of missing toddlers and rowers are yet to be verified. And please don't go terrorising the council. We're unsure if they can do anything about this. Well, there you have it, folks. Some mixed thoughts and feelings from the public, some crazy stories, and a strongly worded message to the council. But what do you think? Have other people's opinions swayed yours?
Pretty vicious.
If you're still undecided, it's now time to hear from an expert. So back to Sam in the studio with a very special guest.
Wow, some riveting answers from the public there. Connie certainly found some entertaining perspectives. Let us know what you think by scanning a QR code in the corner now. Is the Bristol crocodile real or is it not? So it's time to get serious. I'm here with reptilian and crocodile expert Bronwyn Rand. Bronwyn, thank you for joining us. How are you today?
I'm great. Those were some interesting answers from the general public.
Yes, there's certainly some interesting characters out there. Fantastic. So Bronwyn, can you tell us a little bit about alligators and crocodiles?
Absolutely. So crocodiles and alligators are both members of the order Crocodilia, which means they're actually more closely related to birds than most reptiles. They have existed in some form for over 200 million years, and they're often described as living fossils, although they've continued evolving over time.
I see. I have it here that they are incredibly successful predators, typically found in tropical and subtropical regions of around the world. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Yeah, so they're much more intelligent and behaviourally complex than people often realise. They communicate using sounds and body language and show surprisingly sophisticated parental care.
So you clearly know a lot about alligators and crocodiles, but have you heard of the Bristol crocodile?
I have. So the Bristol crocodile is a story that captures people's imagination. Honestly, when I was younger, I was convinced I'd seen it. But looking back, it was almost certainly a log.
Ah, I see. So not so dissimilar to the bus driver who started this all. It's rumoured that the Bristol croc might be an escaped exotic pet. What are the dangers of keeping crocodilians as domestic pets?
So crocodilians are not domesticated animals. They start small and they grow rapidly, and they can become extremely dangerous. They also require really complex care and enclosures to maintain health. Escaped animals also spread disease, disrupt ecosystems, and pose a risk to people.
So with the warm weather that we've been having here in Bristol recently, is it possible that a crocodile could survive in the Avon River?
Well, long-term survival of a crocodilian in the wild in Bristol would be extremely unlikely. These animals need consistently warm temperatures for proper metabolism, digestion, and immune function. A brief summer heat wave would only allow for temporary survival.
Well, that leads me to my final question, the most important one. Do you think the Bristol crocodile is real and really could be living in the Avon River?
Officially, as a scientist, I should probably say there's no strong evidence that a crocodile is living in the Avon. But Bristol is a strange city. If there was anywhere in the UK that a mysterious semi-aquatic reptile to hide and become a local legend, Bristol does feel like a fairly believable place for it.
Wow, well there you have it, folks. The Bristol crocodile is probably not, but could be real. Whether or not it's real or conspiracy, it certainly caught the attention of the Bristol artistic scene. Harry toured some of Bristol's sites to uncover some impressive artworks across the city. Take it away, Harry.
I'm here at Temple Quarter with The Crocodile by Dorcas Casey. This piece was inspired by the ancient waterways and marshes of Temple Quarter, but also, obviously, the urban legend of the Bristol crocodile. But this sculpture has a surprising twist. This is a mama crocodile with 4 little babies on the side. While Casey has never met the beast herself, she wanted her crocodile to bring people together the same way the Bristol crocodile brought believers together. This crocodile is fully tactile, allowing people to touch the various textures on its body, which were all made in community workshops. I think the Bristol crocodile would be pretty proud of this sculpture. This is the Bristol crocodile back in fashion in a fancy little top hat. This mural is located in Bristol Cabot Circus, painted by Lucas Antics earlier this year. This mural depicts the Bristol crocodile cosplaying as Brunel. Yes, the same Brunel who built the SS Brunel and the Clifton Suspension Bridge. That makes 2 legends in one site. How cool is that? We're on Bristol Bridge by Castle Hill Park, and right by us is the croc in its natural habitat, right above the murky waters of Avon River. This sculpture was installed by anonymous artist getting up to stuff overnight in 2024. The little window that the croc is sunbathing in is actually the remnants of a wine cellar from ages ago. This croc is clearly living the life, isn't he?
Wow, some really, really impressive artworks we've just seen there. Now we're going to go live to our very own Charlie Williams, who's currently in the lab with a very impressive specimen. Charlie, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Sam. Yeah, I'm here with Peter, our very own stuffed dwarf crocodile, one of the world's smallest crocs.
Wow, he looks like a charming little fella.
He's very cute, isn't he?
He definitely is. If I'm right, you've got some interesting myths to debunk and facts for us as well.
You're absolutely right. So crocodilians like this guy have a reputation for being kind of scary and dangerous, but did it actually deserve this title? So I'm going to go through some facts about these animals and decide whether we really need to be afraid of them if they show up in our rivers.
Do we need stamps still?
First off the bat, are they just overgrown lizards? The answer to that question is a no. As we heard before, these animals are actually closely related to birds. But thank God they didn't evolve wings, right? That would be pretty scary. And although they can't fly, these guys can actually climb pretty well. Look at this dude go. So while you might think of them as sedentary, these guys can actually climb trees up to 4 meters using their strong claws and overall body strength to find the best areas for sunbathing. And while you might also think of them as flesh eaters through and through, some species have actually been recorded to eat fruit. So be as conscious of their fiber day as we are. So no excuses, kids. Also, crocs are naturally afraid of humans, and when encountering us in the wild, they're more likely to flee than become aggressive. Now, this doesn't mean that we shouldn't be cautious around them, but we shouldn't be living in fear either. And there you have it. Likelihood is, if it is real, the Bristol croc might be more afraid of us than we are of it. And perhaps that is why so few have seen it. So earlier in the show, Connie asked you guys to submit your favorite fun facts about crocodiles. And now I get the pleasure of reading them. Okay, first off, crocodiles can't chew their food. That's right. So they use a thing called the death roll to kind of thrash about their prey so that they can consume it easier. They sleep with one eye open. That's pretty scary. You don't want to be around when they're sleeping or if they're awake. What else do we have? Crocodiles can go through around 3,000 teeth in their lifetime. It's a couple more than us. But they also swallow rocks to help grind their food, apparently. That's pretty cool. A lot of tooth answers, as they also employ birds as toothbrushes. I think that would be a bit strange if we did that. But that's pretty cool, right? That's all from me. So now we're going to go back to Sam in the studio.
Thanks for that, Charlie. Lots of myths busted and facts uncovered. Now, if the Bristol crocodile is real, we want you to be safe during a potential encounter. So earlier this week, I put together an instructional video on how to interact with these majestic creatures. When you're out in Bristol, it's important to stay vigilant and prepared. You never know who or what you might see. Whether that's staying aware of hooligans, drunkards, reform voters, or even the Bristol crocodile, it's important to be ready for anything. Now, encountering the Bristol crocodile is not as bad as those other three. If you think about it, you'd actually be incredibly lucky. You'd be the first person since January this year to see this majestic beast. But what should you do when you see it? Now, to make the most of this incredible honour of seeing this beast in person, we thought we'd put together an educational demonstration of how to handle such an incredible creature. And I'm going to do that with my co-demonstrator, Snappy. Now, unfortunately, the University of Bristol didn't want a major lawsuit on their hands, so we haven't been able to collect a proper crocodile today. Instead, we've got Snappy. Unfortunately, due to construction constraints and shipping costs, Snappy is only a juvenile Australian freshwater crocodile. Snappy is cold-blooded, and I don't mean in temperament, I mean literally. Right now you can see her basking in the sunlight. She does this to conserve energy and maintain her body temperature by warming up.
Such a majestic beast. Now, if you're anything like me, this really isn't close enough. Let's see if we can inch closer to Snappy. Now, she probably will smell me because of the thousands of chemoreceptors on the end of her snout, which means she can smell a carcass from 4 miles away. Probably should have showered this morning. I've managed to get a little bit closer, but I'm going to have to start being careful of those razor-sharp teeth. Snappy can have up to 66 in that jaw of hers, and she replaces these throughout her life, meaning there's always something to bite with. Better watch out. With a bite force of up to 3,700 psi, any good crocodile wrangler knows it's about maintaining control from the top. That's what she said. Let's have a go. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on this, and you're about to see the perfect wrangle. Here we go. Well, there you have it, a successful wrangle. Now, this really is a precious beast of nature, and you need to be careful around these creatures. That was all a joke. Now for some more serious words about what to do if you encounter the Bristol crocodile. In all seriousness, guys, if you do see the Bristol crocodile in real life, always keep your distance. Try and stay at least 5 meters away, and if it spots you, back away slowly. These creatures are only aggressive if they're startled or they feel threatened. Also, don't run away in a zigzag line. That's an urban myth. Running straight will be your best chance of reaching a safe distance. If you do find yourself in a tussle in the water, punching the eyes and the snout of the creature is the most effective way of deterring its attack. Altogether though, I think you'll be all right.
Thank you so much for that, Sam. Hopefully we'll all be able to stay safe while paddleboarding on the Avon River now. Have you gone out on the water much?
To be honest, I think the water is kind of murky and I'm not too sure if I trust the water quality. But I've seen loads of people out and about this week, some even swimming. Today is a day for raising awareness for the ecological importance of alligators and their wetland habitats.
Of course, their most obvious role is regulating prey populations by chomping down on all those fish, birds and turtles with their huge teeth.
But they also dig gator holes, which are exactly what they sound like. And these holes retain water, maintaining biodiversity during seasonal droughts.
And they travel from land to water, carrying essential nutrients across wetlands. Pretty important creatures if you ask me.
And understandably, crocodiles have similar roles in their ecosystems.
Wow. Well, that's nearly all we have time for today, but we actually earlier asked you whether you guys believe that the Bristol crocodile is real, and we happen to have the results here. How many people do you think believe?
I mean, come on, guys. We've got to believe that it's real, right?
Like, surely not. The expert doesn't agree.
Well, how do you know if you can't see under those depths?
Maybe we should invent some goggles. Right, so the results here. Ready? Drum roll. 100% of you believe that the Bristol crocodile could be real. 100%. That's insane. Did you not listen to Bronwyn earlier?
I don't think they have to. I think they know the truth.
The truth that it really exists?
They do really exist.
Yeah, sure, okay.
I do believe that.
Where's your proof?
Well, there's not no proof. There are photos, there are videos.
You haven't even been to the river, and the photos are blurry.
That doesn't mean they don't exist. Same with Bigfoot. I'm sure Bigfoot exists.
There's no way Bigfoot exists. There's no way. I just think that if it did exist, the police would have found it when they searched for it.
When they searched for it, did they look at the trees?
There's no way there's a huge croc hanging about in the trees.
I don't know. Did you not just listen to my segment? They do climb trees, you know.
Well, that's nearly all we have time for there, folks. Next up for you, we have baked in heat, where trees could be the key to staying cool in this record-breaking heat wave. Have you got any plans for the heat wave?
Going out to find the croc, probably. Yeah, go out with Snappy, see if we can find it. I want to be the first one to capture him. Yeah.
To body roll him, like Sam.
Maybe not body roll, but, you know, use the same tactics that he did. You know, we've got this.
Perfect. Okay, well, that really is all we have time for today. Thank you so much for tuning in.
See you later, alligator.
In a while, crocodile.
Hender and Henderson, we're Hender and Son. Hender and Henderson, we're having some fun. With Daisy and Meadows, we're out in the sun. By working together, let's get this thing done.
Hello and welcome to The One Show.
The one-off show.
Yes, of course, The One-Off Show. I hope you enjoyed some crocodile myth busting. Of course, my team knows how to deal with me when I get a bit snappy. Snappy? Who wrote that? And as you can see, it's not just me this afternoon. I have a new co-host, and in true TV fashion, I've hired my own son. So for a lucky one-off, we are bringing you Hender and Henderson.
That's me, and I hope you like the new song that I wrote.
Yes, well, it's been a scorcher of a week across the UK with record-breaking temperatures making this the hottest May on record. At Kew Gardens in London, it was hotter than Benidorm, with temperatures soaring to 35 degrees, while over here in Bristol, we saw highs of over 31 degrees. And it wasn't just me feeling the heat on Tuesday, with the Plimsoll Bridge was forced to close after the steel overheated in the extreme temperatures.
Is the next bit me?
No, it's still me, son.
Well, I haven't had any lines yet. Is my name going to come up on the screen?
No, I'm doing the introduction.
The Met Office has now issued a yellow health alert, warning people to take extra care in the sun. Because while the sunshine can be lovely, extreme heat is not something we can afford to ignore. And it doesn't just affect our health, it has a huge impact on the plants and animals around us. So, on today's programme,
we'll be finding out how to help wildlife and gardens cope in the heat, exploring how plants in our cities can actually help keep us cooler, and sharing some simple tips to help you beat the heat during what soon I'm sure will be known as Heatwave Hender. So we want to hear from you. What tips and tricks do you have to beat the heat? Do you have your feet in a bucket of water? Are you putting ice cubes down your shirt? I don't know what you're up to. But during the show, just scan the QR code on the screen and send in your pictures. We'll be showing them later in the show. We're handing over to my trusty partner, Meadows, to see how he's coping out in the urban jungle. And there he is. Meadows?
Oh, please, could I have a glass of water?
Meadows?
Please, just before I start the set. Oh, hello, yes, I'm Meadows. I'm a long-time associate of Mr. Hender and Mr. Henderson. Great man, Mr. Hender. And as you can see, I'm here. I've been out in the city of Bristol all day, and I've been exposing myself to the elements dutifully and respectfully to our customers so that they can see the long-time effects of heat stroke taking place over an actual person, which Mr. Hendon has said is very important for our loyal customers viewing. Oh, the air temperatures out here are surpassing 30 degrees, but as you can see, I'm in these urban heat spaces where the temperature, they hold these artificial surfaces hold them for a considerable amount longer time than their rural counterparts. Oh, There's also no vegetation around here, which would be releasing transpiration, which would cool the air and provide natural shade to shield my scorching skin from this boiling heat. Oh, 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 oh. Mr. Henderson's calling me. Hello? Mr. Henderson, hello? Hello? Pebbles? What? Oh, please, sir, can't I just come back now? Oh, please, Mr. Henderson, sir. Golly, I'd like a glass of water. Oh, he hung up on me. Oh, no matter. Mr. Henderson's given me an important mission. I need to go and collect some pebbles. I don't know how this is going to directly benefit me, but apparently it's very important for the greater good. He's a great, thoughtful man, Mr. Henderson. But don't worry about me. I'll complete my mission, and in the meantime, why don't you join Daisy up at her allotment? Golly, it looks a lot nicer up there. Oh.
Phew, thanks Meadows. Yeah, it certainly is hot today, but it's nice and cool here at my allotment thanks to the shade being provided by these trees and these trees. I have a whole variety of species: apples, cherry, willow, and amongst my plants I also like to keep a real diverse amount of species, and I like to grow lots of different pollinator plants. So some of the things that people might consider to be weeds, I leave a few of those for the bees because they really like them. And I also grow other plants which are really helpful for things like fertilization. And on a hot summer's week like this one is in the heat wave, what I might do is use some of this to create a mulch, and that will help to keep my plants cool. Now, comfrey grows back really quickly, so although I'm leaving the flowery bits for the trees, I can really rip up a lot of these leaves. They'll come back in a couple of weeks, I can guarantee it. What I'm going to do is make a mulch around the plants that I know are struggling a bit, like this one. You can see it's struggling a bit because of the yellow leaves. Now, when I water, the water will go underneath the leaves and it won't evaporate as quickly, which is really helpful on a day like today. In the middle of the heat wave, water evaporates quickly. So I'm going to show you how to water now. Watering is so important during a heat wave. It could not be more important. I know farmers who water 3 times a day in a heat wave, but it's really important that you get out there at least once. And the best time of day to do it is in the morning or the evening. Now, unfortunately, we're kind of in the midday sun. So what I'm about to tell you next is even more important. I'm going to fill up this bucket and then we're going to water my sweet peas. Now, you can see that they need water because you can see these yellow leaves, but what we really don't want to do is actually pour water all over the leaves. So the motto for watering is low and slow. And what you can see where I'm catching that leaf, which isn't ideal, but what we want to be doing is getting right down around the base of the plants, plenty of water around the base. And you can see where I've used a mulch previously and where I put that mulch on just now. That's really going to help to stop the water from evaporating. And you can see how I'm catching those leaves. Well, that's probably the reason that some of them are yellow, is because I'm a little bit of a sloppy waterer. But really what we want to be doing is morning and evening, low and slow. Okay? Mulching like this can also give your plants some nutrients, and all the shade from the plants creates refuges for small insects who are also suffering in the heat. Bee abundance is actually 52 times higher on allotments than it is in other areas like urban parks and roadside verges. And part of that's to do with the diversity of species and the difference of all the types of niches that those species create. So you can see we've got shade from these big leaves. Some of the habitat's a bit more sparse. That creates different environments that create refuge points for
biodiversity, especially in a heat wave like this. Having the ground covered can be really, really important. And now we'll take a look at what I consider to be the coolest place in my entire allotment. Another really important thing you can do to support biodiversity at home or in an allotment is to have a pond. But when you do have a pond, you've got to do a little bit of pond maintenance. Unfortunately, in really hot days, wait guys, there's a newt. He's just getting out, and this is why I have to be so careful. I'm going to put him back in. I like to, when I'm cleaning my pond, I just put the stuff just to the side, just for that very reason. Those animals, most of the animals that live in a pond, they can sense where water is, so they'll head back to where they know they want to be. But we don't want it to get too overgrown with all of this green stuff, because it can just strip a little bit too much oxygen from the pond. And what's also really important is to keep your pond topped up. It's really important that you dechlorinate your water by putting it somewhere first. So I filled this up the other day because we've got one other thing that we do for the pond, and that is to have a little fountain. Now I had this, but it's a solar powered kind of fountain thing which should aerate the pond a bit, but it got really dirty, so I've given it a clean, and we're about to find out whether it worked or whether it's still filthy, and whether I'm going swimming today. There we go. That's what we want. There you go, newt paradise. There's newt more they could want. Now, I appreciate not everybody has a pond. However, you can make a water feature of any size to support the biodiversity wherever you are in the city. And Meadows, if he's not passed out from the heat, is going to show you how to do it when he gets back to the studio.
Mr. Henderson, sir? Oh, no one here. Doesn't matter, because Mr. Henderson has given me an important mission. I've traversed the scorching city streets encumbered by the burden of my pebbly load, but now I'm going to help them. We'll use them to help cool down some bees. Bees need hydrated in the heat wave too, and although good-natured fellows in our community like to provide water for wild birds, in their haste, bees can drown in these deep dishes. Luckily, I'm going to provide them a means of escape. Don't worry, my fuzzy little friends. Through the synergy of ancient theoretical practices and modern technologies, one can provide a protruding pebbly pathway for these little critters, so that they and their feathered fellows can enjoy water from the same dish in perfect harmony. I've got a funny inkling you might have seen one of these before, but a bird and bee bath. Here you can see I'm painstakingly placing each pebble into the dish. Mr. Hender insists that I need to be very precise and take a long time. He says that if the bees fail to sense the sweat and toil that goes into the placing of each pebble, then they'll drown themselves anyway in protest, and that would be all my fault. What a terrible thing to happen. Wise, wise Mr. Hender. He's always looking out for me and the strides I should be taking in my personal development. Oh, water, water everywhere, but not a drop for me. When I'm home, I think I'm going to make a bee bath out of the water bowl Mr. Hender leaves for me by the end of his bed. Maybe then the bees won't sting me when he sends me to take the honey out of their hives without any of his numerous, extensive collection of personal protective equipment. They must be protected from punctures and tears, he says. He's a great, great, clever man, Mr. Hender. I'm so very lucky that he took me under his wing. Oh, why don't you now join Mr. Hender and Mr. Henderson live as they install some of my hard work upstairs? Don't you worry. I'm not going to be going anywhere.
So these are the bee baths that we prepared earlier. We've been out collecting rocks. So I've got these ones from my garden. That's from my rock collection, and this is from oh, here we go, from my neighbour's driveway. But make sure you do it in the night so they don't see.
And as you can see, I've got some better bits. I've got some Moroccan ceramics, got some seashells, some imported fossils. All good stuff.
So we're out here on the Sky Lounge where you can see it is good and bleak and hot. And the bees up here are definitely going to be overheating and in need of some good bathing water.
No wonder. It's hotter than Benidorm where I'm going after this.
Right, so we are going to put these bee baths out, and now a crucial factor that's missing is the water. So we've got a watering can. Thank you,
what,
Dad.
son. I finally trust you with one of these now.
Can I do the watering?
You can do the watering just this once.
Thank you very much, Dad. I hope I don't mess it up. We're going to just, just pour gently, low and slow, fill up the bee baths.
Bee bird bath, son. Come on.
In like that. Can I do yours, Dad? Is that it?
Just be steady, okay?
So sorry, Dad.
Steady on.
Okay, there we go.
That'll do.
And we're not doing that. Those are my backup rocks. So what's pretty crucial is that we just have some rocks protruding from the water there so that the bees can sit on those. And we also need ones that go right up to the edge so that the bees can climb out if they get stuck. So Dad, you just need...
Don't rearrange my rock collection, right?
Just so the bees can climb out. Just like that. So and now we're going to put them in the flowers, or by the flowers. This is so that the bees can be feeding and they can be drinking. Food and water for all. Pop them in just like that. Get the big ones. They can go, I'm going to put them in the shade so the water doesn't evaporate so quickly. And then what you need to make sure of is that you come back regularly, and when you water your flowers, you water your bee baths as well, just so that the bees always have water to drink. Perfect. And where have you put your one, Dad?
I put it here. It's a centerpiece.
So it just needs to go by the...
It's a centerpiece, right?
It needs to go by the flowers where the bees are.
It's a centerpiece, right? Who's this here?
So they can also be decoration if you would like. And it's also, very important in the heat not to just be taking care of the bees, but to take care of yourself as well. So you should be wearing some sun protection like that.
Certainly shouldn't have that beer.
What? Definitely not. In fact, you sorry, Dad, need to be keeping nice and hydrated. So look, we can just make sure you've got lots of water to be drinking there. That's for you. And even take a break from your work. Go sit in the shade. Go sit in the shade, thank you. But do admire that with your water, sorry, keep going, drink. You need to drink lots. So, perfect. And while we are, Dad, do you want to just join?
Oh, sorry.
Taking care of the bees, taking care of yourself, and now, bloody hell, it's hot up here. We're going to be going back to see Daisy live. She's going to be... It is a bird and bee bath, after all. So, we're going to be going back. It's stealing your shower, Dad.
We're going out to
see Daisy, who's going to be seeing how
hot it is out there.
Hot it is. Thank you very much.
Goodness me, it really looks hot up on that roof there, not like at the allotment, and it's not really like the allotment here where I am now in the middle of the city. There's a lot of different surfaces here which are all quite absorbent, not much vegetation. Different types of surface absorb heat differently, and that's why cities can get really, really hot. What I've got here is something called a pyrometer, and it's used to check the temperature of the surfaces. I've heard that trees are pretty good at keeping streets cool. What I wanted to do was check out the surface of the temperature of a surface, same type of surface without a tree, and then check it out underneath the tree. When I was coming over, I first checked the temperature of a black bonnet of a car, and I got a reading of 53 degrees. Want to be in a bath, that's what I don't think. So let's take a look and see what it's like on the ground here in front of me. Whoa! 48.5. Just 48.1. Okay, let's go and see what it's like. Same surface, same type of road. I can already actually cooler under this tree. Unbelievable. 24.8. That is so much cooler. I can't help but wonder whether the tree out it degrees are hot, but let's just take a reading. No, that's not what's happening. Look, 25 degrees. So why are trees so good at keeping the air temperature cool underneath them? I feel like to answer this question, I'm going to need help from a friend of mine. I'm going to phone them now.
Duncan Porter's a little bit of a climate change boffin. He went viral in 2025 when him and his wife revisited a glacier after 15 years. Only when they went back to it, it was basically all gone. He plants a lot of trees with a charity called Protect Earth. I think he might be able to tell me what's going on. Hi, Duncan.
Hey Daisy, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Can you tell me what's going on with these trees and why is it so hot underneath and where there isn't any trees, and why is it cooler under the trees?
So basically, pavement soaks up the tree's heat all day and holds onto it. So everything gets hotter in cities, like a giant storage heater. But a tree's doing several clever things at once. Firstly, it blocks the sun from hitting the heat-absorbing urban surfaces. Stuff like tarmac, roads, brick walls are reflecting that heat back. It prevents the surface below from absorbing the solar energy and getting hotter, which keeps the ground cooler under the tree. So shade under the tree, basically. Second, and this is really cool, trees breathe out water through their leaves, almost like natural air conditioning. They pull water from the soil through their roots and then release it into the air as water vapor through microscopic pores in their leaves. The process absorbs heat, essentially sweating to cool the surrounding environment. So the air under the trees is cooler, even on a still day. And also trees just don't store heat and release it like urban surfaces, like tarmac and bricks. So you get this cooler air, cooler ground, and the tree keeps itself cool. But they can only do this if they're well watered, which is why charities and communities spend loads of time in summer watering their trees.
That's absolutely fascinating. So basically we do have to take care of the trees for them to take care of us.
Exactly.
Can I ask you something else?
Sure.
One-off show viewers have been sending us messages and photos of how they've been beating the heat this week. What do you think of some of these? Ray from West Yorkshire says he's got all the windows and doors open and he's sitting in front of a giant fan. Is that a good way to cool down?
The best way to keep your house cool really is to let the cooler air in overnight and then shut your curtains and keep the sun out during the day. So leaving the windows open on the side of the house that has shade and not much sunlight is okay to get the fresh air in, but otherwise you're normally just letting in a lot of hot air.
So basically Ray's full of hot air.
Oh, not quite. I mean, it could be a bit cooler. It depends on the temperature outside as well, but sitting in front of a fan is also probably not the best idea for a long time. It can just dehydrate you.
That's really interesting. How about having a cold beer like Luke in Warminster?
Well, Daisy, you know I like a beer, but in this weather, it's probably not best to overdo caffeine or alcohol, really.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks, Duncan. That's been really informative. We're going to go back to the studio now, where Meadows is checking out more of the city's heat-beating tactics. Thanks.
Great stuff.
All right,
Cheers.
bye.
Oh, well, thank you, Daisy. Yes. I'm still here toiling away. But anyway, let's now have a look at what some of our faithful viewers, in the sense they're beating me at beating the heat. What have we got up first? Oh, look at these lovely young fellows having a lovely succulent meal. I haven't eaten in 3 days. Mr. Hender has to save his pennies and my feeding days on Sunday. Got anything? Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh, this isn't looking good for this young fellow in this picture. He clearly hasn't done much of his skincare routine. Maybe we should be considering something else that he's done. And there's another one as well. Oh, God, what are these people doing, honestly? They look even worse than me. Yes, and I think he's... Oh, honestly, I've got no comment on this one. And to be... Oh, if you're going to be out in the wind and in the sun, I think, to be honest, you should kind of pick your battles in that sense. I don't think the wind and the sun's going to be doing you any favours, realistically. Well, get it away, get it away. Oh, look at this lovely little puppo. Oh, look at him. He's the most fun that we've had all day. And he looks like he's keeping exceptionally cool as well. Anyway, that was truly inspiring. And what a creative and sensible collection of viewers we have. But it sounds like the great Mr. Hender might have some parting words for you. So, take care, everybody. See you later. Oh.
Do you know what, son? I've been thinking you've done a bloody good job today.
Oh,
and
thank you, Dad.
I think I'm about ready to hand it over to you. I'm going to give you the one show.
Okay. Thank you, Dad. Thank you.
Well done, son.
Thank you.
I'm off. I'm getting out of this heat.
Okay. Right, I'll close up.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see you at home.
Or Benidorm. Come on, Meadows.
Oh, Mr. Henderson, sir, of course.
That's it, boy.
So, well, we've made it to the end of a very hot week. And on today's very special episode of the One-Off Show, we've seen how by taking care of ourselves and by watering our plants correctly and by taking care of our local insects and birds, together we can beat the heat. Thank you very much and join us next week when it won't be Hender anymore, it'll just be Henderson. What's up next? Is it the vegan food thing? God, good job my dad's not here for that. He fucking hates.
You're still live.
No, hang on, you got the cut that. I'm not allowed to swear. I'm gonna lose my job.
Good afternoon, Bristol. Welcome to That Afternoon. It's a gorgeous sunny day here in the southwest. Hannah, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling so excited for today's show. The sun has been shining all week and honestly, I am ready.
Well, you've joined us for our No Meat May special. Coming up, we're uncovering the true cost of your weekly supermarket basket. We'll take a look at the science behind our food choices and the small, simple changes we could make that have a positive impact on our planet.
And later on, Kieran will be teaching me how to create the perfect plant-based pizza at home before we head into the kitchen for a tofu scramble cook-off, and things could get competitive.
This is your perfect mix of news, fun, and food across the city. Thank you for spending your afternoon with us.
First off, we need to talk about something we all do every single week, the dreaded supermarket run. To help us shop a little bit smarter, Amacy is bringing us her eco supermarket saver. So earlier this week, she went out to a local Bristol shop to unlock the secrets of our buying habits. Let's see how simple changes in our weekly shop can help the planet and save you money.
Hello everyone, welcome to my weekly food shop.
This week I want to show you how you can make plant-based dinners instead of meat-based one. Give me 1 second. Let's see what else I got. Back from the shop, let's see what I got. So I've got chickpeas, red kidney beans, green lentils, 2 types of tofu, some mushroom, and I wanted to try some meat alternative sausages. So for my meat-based week, I would have normally have like burgers twice, chicken twice, a bit of salmon, and sausages twice. But for this week, I'm gonna have some chickpea curry, red beet chili, lentil dal, tofu scramble, which I'm gonna be making for the first time, tofu teriyaki, mushroom rice bowl, and a bit of no meat sausages. And I've realized that by making this choice, I was not only reducing my carbon footprint, but also saving money. So with my meat week, I would have had a carbon footprint of 11.5 kilos of CO2. But with this week, I'm only having 1.8 kilos. That's like 6 times less. And I've also saved a few pounds. So with my meat-based week, I would have spent approximately 7.5 pounds. And this week, I only spent 4.5 pounds per portion. And so I've realized that if I add all of that, I would have saved 150 pounds a year. What would you do with an extra 150 pounds?
I would definitely be putting that 150 pounds towards a nice holiday.
Oh, very nice.
It was so interesting to learn that a plant-based shop can be both cheaper and also better for the planet.
Yes, and even small changes can make a huge difference on carbon emissions. Replacing beef with chicken could significantly decrease carbon emissions. So for example, if you have chicken instead of beef for dinner every day of the week, you could actually go down to 3.3 kilos of CO2 emitted. And that's huge. So there's a graph that shows what I'm meaning, and you can see on the graph that the beef is at the very top and the chicken is at the very bottom.
Wow, I mean, beef is so much higher than I thought it would be. Why is that?
Well, cows' herds need a lot of land, and that's for grazing and for feeding. And so they also need loads of space for like all the farming, and they also are ruminants. So they create methane in their gut, which they burp and fart out after. And so that's a ton of greenhouse gases emissions.
I never knew just how much effort went into farming beef, and that it was so intensive in terms of greenhouse gases. But I also noticed on the graph that tofu is so much lower than I thought it would be. I've always heard that it was bad for the planet because it uses so much soy.
Yeah, and you've probably heard that too. You've probably heard that soy leads to deforestation. But actually, it's not for tofu. It's for cattle. 3/4 of it is for cattle, and only a small portion is used to feed humans and to make tofu. And for example, the soybeans that are used for the tofu brand are made in Canada and then shipped to the UK. And then it's okay to ship them to the UK by boat because the boat is so much more efficient than planes. And if you want more if you're interested into more differences between foods, you can read this book, How About a Bananas, and I really recommend it.
I will definitely be picking up a copy of that. So now, for those of you at home who are unsure about how to eat plant-based, we are going to be heading over to the kitchen where earlier this week, Kieran taught Hannah how to make a plant-based pizza from the comfort of your very own home.
Okay, welcome to the studio kitchen. Today we're going to be doing a plant-based pizza. So it's Friday night, usually we'll get a takeaway pizza and just kind of, order it in, but we're going to show you how to make it at home without your own pizza oven and just with a pan and a grill. So today I've got Hannah here, going to be making pizza for the first ever time.
I know.
Excited?
I am excited. I'm a bit nervous. I don't want to mess it up, but
you'll be fine.
Okay, I'm in good hands.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm in good hands.
Have you ever had any of these before? We've got Violife and Buffalo Mozzarella.
I actually have never tasted vegan cheese before, ever.
Wow.
So I feel like this is going to be really interesting. So what do we have here? Talk us through everything.
We've got our dough.
This is our cheese.
We've got our cheeses.
Yeah.
We've got our dough from Pizza Over, made fresh yesterday.
And we've also got plant-based entirely. So talk us through the other ingredients you've got.
That's it.
Oh, that's everything?
Yeah. We're going to be testing out the different types of cheese primarily. So we're going to just be doing the slightly more expensive Buffalo Mozzarella, but that's kind of more restaurant standard. But they're both available in shops.
Yeah.
And they're both kind of easily accessible for the public market as well.
So you're saying this pizza is good enough that you don't need any extra toppings. That's what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay, so just the basic cheese. Right, let's
do
go.
it.
Let's get stuck in. Oh my gosh, I have my own apron. That's very exciting.
So this is your
Very
first
exciting.
ever time making pizza.
This is my first ever time making pizza. Yeah, but not eating it.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to show you how to do the base with your hands. So at home you
Okay.
can use a rolling pin as well, but we're going to just use our hands today just to kind of get that more authentic experience.
Okay.
So with your
Shall I join
hands. Yeah, you want to join in?
Yeah, I
Let's
do, I do.
Okay, so
Okay.
with your hands, so you want to. I've already made it into kind of like a more circular shape for you.
Okay, I'm bringing
but
some.
today-
I'm bringing some over here.
So get a little bit on top. So get a little bit of the semolina flour to make
This
sure
is
it
really
doesn't stick.
exciting, by the way. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
That's fine.
It is really exciting.
So with your fingers, so yeah, get in there without. So you can press
I'm just going in. Sorry.
through the middle. We tend to press all the air out to the crust so that it kind of keeps that crust rather than being really thin and crisp. That's kind of a more like classic Neapolitan style.
Okay.
So stretching it out. Whilst you're stretching
Yours
it
looks
out,
so good.
so a little bit more semolina on, and then
A bit more. Okay.
yeah, a little bit more just to keep, so make sure we don't get stuck, you know. And then when we're coming in, so this time, so cup your hands like this, and then press
Ooh.
them into the dough, and then we're stretching out both ways at once. Yeah.
Okay.
So nice, yeah, and then not too far, and then spinning, and then same again. So stretching out slowly, just like this.
Oh my goodness! What a great
So-
technique!
By stretching them out just and spinning it at the same time, you kind of keep that shape without stretching it out into a rectangle shape, if you can avoid it.
You do look like a natural at this, Kieran, honestly. I feel like I'm being a bit tentative, but that's okay. It's my first time.
that's
For
all
you
good.
at home as well, if you're trying this, it's your first time, just get in there, I think.
Okay, nice.
Yours looks brilliant. That's not too bad.
It's great.
For a first
It's
time.
really good.
Okay,
So,
great.
We'll get the pan. So you can take what we've just made, shake off the semolina, so when you see it shake off like that, comes right off.
Can we throw it?
Do you want me to throw it?
Can you actually? Oh my goodness! That was like a proper pizza throw. Right, how do I do it?
So
Okay. Maybe don't try that at home. Don't try it. Oh, mine's actually looking quite good now. I feel like the flip actually helps, so maybe do try it at home.
it looks nice.
So you're putting it into a pan, okay? I'm
So-
going to leave mine there for now.
You can see in the pan that I've stretched it out just as a piece dough. It's rolling off slightly, but just kind of keeping the crust up to the sides like this. We can see in the pan that I'm keeping the crust up to the side like this once I put it into the pan.
Perfect.
So once I put it like
Okay,
this,
what's next?
do you want to do the saucing?
I do. I really want to. For a second, can I just ask you about the next step then, the cheese? So, what's the difference between these two? So we've got two different types of vegan cheese.
Yes.
So can you tell me a little bit more about those?
So
Okay.
buffalo mozzarella we have prepared just here.
So which one's that and this one?
This is the buffalo
Okay,
mozzarella.
great.
So now that we have spread all of the sauce, so we've got a nice even spread without it being too thin in any area, we will add the basil leaves.
I need to get to that first. Sorry. Thank you. So the smell test. I don't know why all these ingredients just smell absolutely amazing. So it smells good as well.
Yeah.
And so basil's gone on.
Basil's
and
gone
then
on.
can I put cheese?
Yeah. So
Where do I put the cheese? Just anywhere?
anywhere.
Okay. I feel like I'm a student that has lots of questions. And
That's a
you're-
good thing though. It's good to have lots of
Okay.
questions. You know.
Okay. First time. Is that enough? Do you think?
No, you want about
Loads.
triple the time.
Okay, I'm
triple
gonna
the
hand it over to you.
That's okay.
Okay.
First time, you know. So
First
you tend
time.
to get it. So get it up like this. Drop stuff there. So spread it all out. Make sure it's not overlapping, otherwise it'll be super thick. You know,
Okay.
it's kind of similar to mozzarella, but not exactly the same. It will kind of be like it's based on like a coconut oil, I believe.
Okay.
And so it's slightly different, but we'll still have that kind of like cheesy effect. You know?
Mm.
So
Okay,
I
brilliant.
would say that's
coming
good enough.
together.
There we
It's coming
go.
together.
Okay, now we're moving from the dough area into the kitchen area. So I'm going to cook the pizza just on the pan here. This is an important step because it means that it doesn't get soft on the bottom when you cook it in. It means we're going to cook the bottom first and then the top. Okay. Now that it's crispy underneath, we're going to move it to under the grill for a few minutes just to finish off. Now that the pizza's all done, I hope we've inspired you to do your own plant-based pizza cooking at home instead of getting takeaway. What do you think?
so good.
Excited?
It looks really good. I am really excited to try that.
And it was that simple. Thanks so much for that pizza tutorial, Kieran. That looks absolutely incredible, if I do say so myself. Now, we want to hear from you at home. We have some people ready to call in imminently. Are you trying to cut down on your meat intake? What are the biggest hurdles you are facing? Is it the taste, the cost, or just getting the family on board? Oh, we've got a caller in already. Just bear with me 1 second. Hello, calling.
Is that Kieran from that afternoon?
Yes, it is. Who's speaking?
This is Steve from Sheffield.
Oh, hi, Steve. How's it going? How's Sheffield today?
Oh, it's lovely, but I've been enjoying your show so
Oh, yeah.
much.
Have you considered a plant-based diet yourself?
Recently, my granddaughter, she put me onto the plant-only diet because I had low energy and my gut health wasn't so good.
Oh, that's a shame to hear. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. What brings you to this show then? So is it just that you're kind of expanding your plant-based diet totally, or are you just kind of loving the show? You're an avid viewer. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to know a bit more about the pros of being on a plant-based diet, so I could tell my friends.
Yeah. Okay. Lovely. Well, thanks so much for calling in. Do you want to shout at anyone in your family whilst you're on TV?
I'll say hi to Dorothy from Bingo.
Okay. Hi, Dorothy from Bingo. Nice to hear from you, and hopefully get to call you again soon. All right. Thank you. See you later. Ta-da. Ta-da. Oh, and we have another caller in straight away. Oh. Hello. Where are you calling from today?
All right, Kieran, love.
All right. How's it going? Who am I speaking
It's
to?
all right, I'm good. I'm Brenda.
Brenda. Oh, where are you calling from today, Brenda?
I'm calling from Kingswood, believe it or not.
Oh, Kingswood. Wow, not
Indeed,
far then.
yes,
So
yeah,
local,
yeah.
local. So what made you want to call today? Are you a watcher of the show? Are you taking on a plant-based diet?
I'm an avid watcher of the show, but you know, my son, I've got 7, you see, and
wow.
unfortunately, my oldest is 23, but you know, he eats, oh sorry, he eats,
Please don't swear.
he eats his vegetables,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
he loves
we
chicken nuggets and ketchup, you know.
Okay, amazing. We've got 10 more seconds on the line. Is there anything you want to add on about plant-based diet, and do you want to shout out to your family?
Oh, shout out to little Jimmy.
Okay.
Jimmy.
Well, hi Jimmy. Hope you're watching at home. All right. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
Thank you, love.
Thank you. Love. Bye. Bye. All right. That were the callers for today. Thank you all for those. Sorry about the swearing for those at home. That we didn't know that was going to happen. That was totally unscripted. Sorry about that. So now, earlier today, Amity caught up with a local business owner who is changing the way that Bristol views plant-based meals for affordable lunches.
Hello everyone, we're here at Chaya, a plant-based cafe, and I'm here to interview Tom, the manager. Come on. Hello. Could you tell us what a typical day looks like here?
Typical day here, we open doors at 7. Our night ferries have been already, who go to market for us, bringing all the fruit and vegetables in, so they'll be waiting for us when we arrive. As soon as we arrive, we start restocking shelves with fresh food. Bakeries come in with organic sourdough. Kitchens start cooking straight away as soon as they arrive. By 11, we normally have all our food ready for lunch.
And which dish here would you recommend to people if they hadn't tried plant-based food before?
I mean, all of them are going to be good. So the ramen's always really friendly in the winter. It's super delicious, easy. It's a good all-round nutrition base. But yeah, I mean, they're all going to be good. The chili's great as well. Lots of fibre, lots of protein. So it depends if you just want to try something with flavour or if you're looking for nutrition. Like whenever we do our main hot foods, like the chili, they will come with salads. So we get about 30 plants in one meal normally.
What do you think would be the best way to encourage people to eat more plant-based?
Well, I think, yeah, just first of all is honest and essential information and education around it. It's amazing how many people still don't really know why most people do go vegan. They don't know about battery farming, factory farming. They have this image in their head about cows living happy lives in cow fields and things, which just, to be honest, just is not the case. And then making it affordable, accessible. It's one of the reasons we do our food so cheap. It's been £5 for over a year. It's gone up to £6 just to support our staff and living wage. But I think they're the 3 sort of pillars of anything: it's, education, accessibility, and making it affordable.
That's awesome.
No.
Thank you so much for your answers. For your
Welcome.
questions.
Cool.
Hello and welcome to The Weather. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Instead of looking at the week ahead, we're going to be looking further into the future to explore how our changing climate could reshape the way food is grown right here in the UK. So we're coming to the end of an unusually warm May, but climate scientists have said that this is likely to become more common in the future. So while warmer weather might sound appealing, it can bring major challenges for farming and food production. Rising temperatures combined with shifting rainfall patterns are already beginning to affect growing seasons across the country. Many staple crops that are grown in the UK, including wheat, oats and strawberries, are particularly vulnerable to heat stress and extreme weather conditions, which can reduce both the crop quality and quantity. But it's actually not all negative. As the climate changes, some crops that traditionally struggled in the UK may become easier to grow. Many farmers are already beginning to experiment with more Mediterranean-style produce, including chickpeas, sunflowers, and even citrus fruits such as oranges. So, as climate change continues to impact our agriculture, farmers across the UK are increasingly having to adapt to new growing conditions and changing crop viability. Supporting them through this transition and thinking more carefully about where our food comes from is going to become increasingly important in the years ahead. So, speaking of changing food habits, we're now going to be heading back over to the kitchen where our team are going to be putting tofu to the test in a breakfast challenge against the classic omelette.
Alright, welcome back to the kitchen studio. We're here for the cooking competition. We're now live, so I'm here with Hannah and Amacy. I'm making the 2-egg omelette today. And Amacy, what are you going to be making?
I'm going to be doing a tofu scramble for the first time of my life.
I've never tried a tofu scramble before, so I'm so excited for today. So we're going to count down. So in 3, 2, 1, off you go, guys. So exciting. So I'm just going to start. Kieran, what do you think makes a perfect omelette?
For me, I quite like a high heat omelette. You know, I like it to not be too runny, so I'm going to try and kind of cook it at a super high temperature. I think if you do it a bit low, I find that I always accidentally scramble them. I always find that they're just a little bit runny for me.
So do you think that's the biggest mistake that people at home or we might make when we're making an omelette?
I guess so, but it does just depend on how you like it, you know. Some people like it super runny, but personally, yeah, it's just not for me. But I think, you know, basically I've got speed and taste today. I think we'll get the egg omelette much faster than the tofu.
Speed and taste, fantastic. Okay, and Amacy,
yeah,
what is a tofu scramble? Can you explain it to us, please?
A tofu scramble is when I will be taking this into little pieces and I will be adding spices so that it resembles an egg scramble, but it will be only half the carbon emissions.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking there's probably some families at home watching, so with some kids, do you think that this is something that kids might get behind and be able to enjoy as well?
Wow, that's a really good question. Well, we will discover today.
Okay, great. So Kieran, what's more important, a non-stick pan or the butter for making an omelette?
Or loads of butter. I prefer a non-stick pan as well,
butter.
but you know, we're working with what we've got today, and I think we'll be able to make it.
Okay.
Are you excited?
I'm excited.
Have you eaten today? Are you hungry?
I am hungry. I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I think I'm more intrigued though by the tofu. I'm just thinking, are you putting any herbs or spices into the tofu?
Yeah, I'll be adding curry and turmeric.
Curry and turmeric, why?
Well, the curry's for the nice taste.
Okay.
And it happens to have a yellow color as well, and the turmeric is for the coloring. And so we'll end up with a tofu scramble that's nice and yellow, so it will resemble the egg, but also have amazing taste.
And a good taste as well.
Yeah.
I see you're using onion and garlic as well.
Yes.
Is there anything else you'd put in a tofu scramble or serve it with that would make it taste better, or what would you recommend?
Yeah, I'm gonna add a bit of nutritional yeast because that contains some B12 vitamins. And that's something that eggs have but tofu doesn't have. So that's for nutrition and taste. It has a really nice cheesy flavor. I love it. I use it all the time. And then we will add a little bit of spinach.
Fantastic. Yeah. I want to know, and I'm sure that the audience wants to know as well, have you ever ruined an omelette?
Oh yeah. It's not gonna go well today, I don't think. I usually try and make an omelette, but sometimes it just comes out scrambled egg today.
Okay.
Go for omelette, but end up with scrambled egg.
Is there any way or tips you can tell the audience on how you can prevent that from happening? Okay.
I don't want to give away too many tips in case it doesn't work. No.
Perfect. So Anicie, yeah, when will you get to scrambling the tofu? I'm excited.
Now.
Yay! Okay.
And it's really fun,
Okay.
like the texture. Look at this.
Does it take a while to do?
Let's see. If I do it with my full hands, I can literally get it done within a few seconds. Look at that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I'll rinse my hands off.
Literally looks like the texture of scrambled egg.
I think the texture will be more firm. But if you don't mind about it taking a little bit longer to cook, a few minutes, then silken tofu might have a bit more like spongy texture. So it just depends on how you like your scrambled eggs.
Lovely.
Always remember to wash your hands.
So how's it going back there? So you heated up your butter, nice and hot. Is it going in? It's going in. It's going in, guys. The omelette is in the pan. So I think at the moment it seems that Kieran's a little bit further ahead than Amicie. Is that fair to say, Amicie? How are you doing?
It is fair to say.
Okay. Fair to say at this point.
I am taking my time. I'm enjoying this.
Okay, enjoying the process. The smell is
Yeah,
absolutely amazing. Like it smells, I don't know if that's the eggs or the tofu, but it does smell really, really good in here. And also I can see just from here, like the tofu, Amicie, like is it really golden? Like it looks really golden.
Yeah,
brown.
it's really turning gold.
Actually looks like scrambled eggs. And how's the heat, Kieran, on yours?
It's good in there, I think. I'm having some trouble with my pan. No, we're
Oh,
getting
no.
there, we're getting there.
Trouble in paradise. Have you tried tofu before, Amicie?
I have. I eat it marinated with a bit of soy sauce and sesame oil sometimes, and I love it.
Okay.
It's really, really nice. It's a really easy protein to have.
Yeah.
And because the taste of tofu on its own is quite bland, that means that you can actually, it like shapeshifts into anything that you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you plant-based yourself? Can I ask that?
I am, actually.
You are?
Yeah.
And you find it's a really good substitute for eggs?
Yes. And for lots of other things, like for chicken, for meat, in general, actually. Because the emissions are so much lower. And I actually noticed that it's also cheaper, so that's really good.
Okay, so less carbon footprint with the tofu compared to the eggs. Right, we're serving up, actually. So, super exciting. I've just noticed that Amicie's popped some spinach in the pan. Amicie, is that what you're going to serve it with?
I like some spinach.
You want some spinach with your first dish?
Okay, let's go for it. Let's put spinach on both so it's a good fair test. So we've got, I'm just going to show, we've got the omelette with eggs. That is actually a perfect
What do you
omelette
think?
here. I'm actually really impressed. I'm shocked. I didn't think it was going to look this good. But that looks pretty amazing.
I got a
And
little
that's
bit
not
lost in the
scrambled
middle there, but you know.
Okay.
I hope it is how you liked it, you know.
That looks absolutely amazing. Right, I might get on with tasting. Yeah, I might get on with tasting this. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
That's alright.
This is really nice. Okay, I'm going to try it. But it looks really golden. And is that pepper on the top? So what
It is a little
seasoning,
bit
what
pepper.
seasoning have you used?
So we've literally just got butter, salt, pepper and eggs. So it keeps it super simple, you know. We have the tofu scramble, which is a few more ingredients going on, but
Okay.
I think it's got that, you know.
That's amazing. That is so good. And I also just want to say that Amicie, you weren't too far behind with the tofu. Like in terms of timing, like both of those got ready on the similar times. Do you guys agree? Like that was quite quick.
Pretty good,
Yeah,
actually.
really quick. And I'm just gonna try. Do you guys want to try?
Yeah, I do
Get
want to
some-
try. Really
Yeah.
cool.
I'm just gonna try. I'm so excited. I feel like this is gonna be great, guys. Do you mind if I try first?
Go ahead.
No, go for it.
Are you sure? So it's
Yeah.
got a bit of onion, a bit of garlic. That is actually really nice. I was a bit sort of, what's the word, skeptical, but that is really good. Get in there. That is so nice. Sorry, Kieran, but that hits on the spice. Isn't that so nice? I love this. Right. I think maybe tomorrow I'm gonna go get some tofu.
We're getting to the end of the show, so should I run
Yeah.
back to Charlotte in the on the Sky Lounge studio?
I think so. Yeah, run it back.
Amazing.
She needs to try it. So good.
We're coming, Charlotte. We're coming.
I can't wait for Kieran to get here. I am starving. Oh,
Whoa.
oh my gosh, that looks amazing. Oh my goodness, wow.
That's all we have time for this afternoon. Thanks to all of our presenters and contributors. Next up, as we leave you today, we have to ask, are you planning on going out tonight? Or are you staying in to listen to Nature's Soundtrack, the evening chorus? Up next, the team talks about a little bit of both, exploring how city nightlife can coexist with nature. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Stay happy and stay green. Bye.
Across the UK. Today, we're keeping it local. Last weekend, Love Saves the Day took centre stage in Bristol. We'll be exploring how drum and bass impacts our wonderful bird species here in the UK. Let's go to Beth and Emma, who are coming to us live from Ashton Court.
We've just wrapped up another unmissable year at Love Saves the Day. From Rizzle kicks to Sub Focus, this explosion of electronic sound systems set across 8 stages was one to remember.
We're here in Ashton Court. We're up to 30,000 rave heads flooded into this field for the festival's 14th year running.
The bank holiday certainly brought the heat, but with global temperatures rising, sustainability is at the forefront of many festivals across the UK. Love Saves the Day believes there's no music on a dead planet.
Their pledge to make positive improvements to the climate industries means they even have a 100% green energy main stage.
Bristol is dubbed the green capital of the UK, but you know what is also home to? Drum and bass.
They can't hear me.
Sorry.
From D&B to jungle to hip hop, there was something for everyone. Well, maybe not for everyone.
The weekend was certainly filled with wild music, wild ravers and wild weather.
But what about wildlife?
Well, today we're exploring the forgotten sounds of the festival.
The often unnoticed calls on busy cities that fight for space over man-made noise pollution.
Since the 60s, more than 30 million birds have vanished from UK skies. Their voices matter more than ever if we are to maintain ecological balance.
Ashton Court has been a deer park for over 600 years and is home to some of Britain's rarest wildlife. It's a site of special scientific interest too.
The diverse array of bird life, including nesting skylarks, sing their long and complicated songs over late winter to midsummer, just as festival season is coming about.
Surely the birds don't mind a bit of rave music. After all, they are musical creatures themselves.
But birds rely on their music to communicate. So let's go back to the studio to find out more. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Emma and Beth. It is true that birds would be the last thing on our minds when we're getting ready for music festivals. But this seems strange, given that over 70 species make their home just within Bristol's city limits. Many of us are familiar with the dawn chorus, but birds sing at various times of the day and for different reasons. Birds vocalise during crucial activities such as attracting mates, defending their territory, and letting others know that there's a predator nearby.
These high-pitched, sharp noises between birds can allow them to flee or hide from predators, which could be a lifesaver. And like us, they have these distinct vocal registers, which allow them to pick each other out in the bushes. During a festival, this naturally gets a lot harder. Though urban birds have to deal with traffic and bursts of music can stop them from communicating altogether. In the science world, this is known as acoustic masking. And last weekend, whilst the ravers raved on, the birds must have been very confused indeed.
Male robins sing to females during breeding seasons to show off their fitness in hopes of successfully mating. With about 6 million pairs in the UK, noise pollution can interfere with this, severely reducing breeding success nationwide. How well do you know your birds, Alex?
I like to think fairly well, but we could test it out, I suppose.
Good idea.
Open your QR code, open your phone camera, and scan the QR code on screen, and we're going to play a round of Guess the Bird song. And we're going to play songs from 3 different species, and then you'll have to guess from a multiple choice list, and later we'll reveal the answers.
Okay guys, get ready at home. This is bird number 1.
Yeah, this one, they should be getting this one, really.
This might be quite hard.
Okay, answers in.
Mhm.
Okay, time for bird number 2. You know the drill, send in the
Oh,
answers.
that one's quite tough.
Honestly, I will be very disappointed if you're not getting that one.
This guy.
I'm going to play one more.
Yes, final bird.
This one's more niche.
Send in your final answers.
See, while we're waiting for those answers, we're going to look at one really strange impact noise pollution can have on female birds.
Male birds use vocalizations to show off their fitness, and females listen in before choosing their mate to make sure they get the best one. But man-made noise can dull the signal and mess with the female selection process.
If a female mishears a male's song, she may end up with a very inflated view of his genetic fitness, and these muddled attractions can have real consequences for the offspring who are less likely to survive with a father not up to par. This could be to do with noise pollution obscuring low frequencies, and I wonder with all the thrumming rhythms of Love Saves the Day, whether this wasn't drowned out completely.
It's been found that 5 out of 6 birds in noisy environments will shift their frequencies higher in an attempt to be heard over low-frequency man-made sounds.
Well, it looks like the noise nerds have been voting away for the quiz, and I think that we have some responses on that one.
If our producer could give us the results.
Hopefully, people at least got the first 2.
I don't know, they were quite hard.
Yeah, I'm thinking though, you know, if you're a science communication for a Better Planet student and you're not getting the first 2 birds that we put on this list, then it's
True,
probably...
but many people wear headphones to work these days.
No, you're right. You're actually quite
Oh,
right.
results are in.
What have we got here? Okay, first bird was. If we can get the audio on that again, please. And
The first bird was a robin.
so 2 people, 2.36 people apparently got that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
As a percent, that's great.
Oh, as a percentage. Okay, I see.
Okay, time
That's
for.
shocking.
Yeah.
We got blackbird next, I believe.
Yeah, can we run that back? Incredible, right. So time to reveal the final bird, which was... Oh, this is a playback of our second bird. Now, the final bird was a song thrush. Incredible. Only 1.5% of people got that right.
Can't really blame them.
Come on, guys. Right, so
With all these beautiful variety of sounds, there is even more variety of noise competing with them. So, you know, it's no wonder that with all these this noise pollution, it's so disruptive. So we went to speak to an expert in bioacoustics, which is the study of animal sound, to get some insight on this. Thank you for joining us, Andy. I was going to start by asking you, why is masking such a problem for urban birds?
Well, in the urban environment, there's lots of noise generated by our activities, most obviously by traffic, but also things like construction. And birds are trying to communicate acoustically using songs and calls. And as soon as you have background noise that's at the same pitch or frequency as those bird songs or calls, then it means the message isn't being conveyed as well. Either the receiver doesn't hear it at all, or they get only part of the message instead of everything that was meant to be conveyed.
That's really interesting. So we're actually focusing specifically on music festivals, and with noise pollution being such a problem, as you mentioned, for urban birds, would music festivals represent just another problem, another step too far, the kind of straw that broke the camel's back, if you like.
So I think at least with music festivals, they're probably only going on for a day or two at most. By contrast, if a bird can't hear a warning signal about a predator because of a music festival, then it might be in real danger and face death.
Yeah, that's big trouble. And then at a time like this time of year, where more and more music festivals happen, and it's still the breeding season for some birds.
Yeah, so lots of birds, males in particular, are singing to announce their quality to potential mates. Females are listening out, trying to choose between them and select one they want to mate with. And yeah, the music festivals are going to mask that song, prevent the females from either hearing the males at all, or prevent them from getting the exact message that they're after, which is the true quality of each of the males.
You know, we've all kind of heard of the dawn chorus. We were curious about how the dusk chorus, what is the significance of that? Why might it be more affected by a music festival playing out in the evening?
Yeah, so the dawn chorus is this famous peak in song, first thing in the morning. But regardless of the exact reason, there's a peak at that early point, and then you get a secondary peak often at dusk time. And I can imagine that music festivals are unlikely to be going on at first thing in the morning, so that one might be secure, but then that dusk peak in singing might be particularly affected by those festivals. I guess one of the possibilities is that they've already gathered enough food that's going to see them through the night, so this is an opportunity to advertise again before bedtime. Is perhaps the most likely reason for that dusk.
In light of all that, we actually wanted to ask your opinion on a couple of things, especially regarding the noise pollution of these festivals. A lot of them occur in green spaces. We had Love Saves the Day this last weekend at Ashton Court, the biodiversity hotspot. Do you think that these festival organisers, as well as having the responsibility to take care of physical pollution, should they also factor in noise pollution to their preparations?
I think it's a nice idea. I think the difficulty would be how you really do that in a meaningful way. There are certain things that you can do to dampen sound down in terms of how far it might carry, in terms of, say, sound baffles. But as soon as the sound stops, there's no lingering echo in the environment, in the same way that there would be, for example, with chemical pollutants in a river. So although there could be disruption, say, on a given day, as soon as the festival stops, that disruption ends too. So it's always going to be a balancing act between how much effort you put in to dampen down a particular pollutant on a particular occasion and the cost of that, versus how much it's truly affecting the wildlife. And the honest answer is, someone probably needs to go and study it, see how much disruption there is. I mean, there are studies that show, for example, big firework displays are pretty disruptive, particularly to, say, either nesting or roosting birds in the evening. So you can get levels of disruption from these individual events. I mean, if a species moves away from an area because of that and doesn't come back, that's hugely disruptive. If the birds are, say, disturbed for the evening but return, there's a level of disruption, but it's perhaps not catastrophic in terms of their reproduction or their survival. So it's kind of levels of effect as to what's going on.
Maybe there's more hope with noise pollution because the effects don't linger so long. Does that make it a more hopeful thing that we might be able to fix the problem?
Yeah, I think working with noise pollution, there is that definite hope that you can make a difference, and you can make a difference quite quickly and also on a local scale.
Wonderful. Well, I think that's all we have time for. Those are some really insightful answers, Andy. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Pleasure. Nice to chat to you.
Ah, Andy Radford, isn't he great? One of my favourite professors and a good grader too. It's interesting what he had to say about masking, and it made me wonder what it would be like to be living as a bird in a big city.
Well, it's funny you say that because I've devised a game which will hopefully give you just that experience.
Oh, cool.
Okay, here's how it works. I'm a male skylark and you're a female skylark. at the Ashton Court Estate during Love Saves the Day festival.
Oh, Love Saves the Day, that was great.
It was so good. I'm calling to you through the noise, trying to mate with you. The way we're going to simulate that is with these headphones. But first, I'd like to give you a little demonstration.
Okay.
Here I've got my CDJ. On one channel we've got Birdsong from Ashton Court, and on the other channel we've got some drum and bass music.
Oh yeah.
So we're going to see how you may not be able to hear it through all that noise. So if I start playing the Birdsong, very nice, very chill.
That's nice.
And then if we start bringing in some drum and bass, you might see how it's lost. Wait for that. And then if I take that away, you can mainly just hear the drum and bass.
Yeah, that's crazy. You can't hear the Birdsong at all?
Yeah, you can see how it gets lost in all that noise. But now what we're going to do is we're going to give you a little demonstration. It's a game I like to call Chinese Whispers.
Okay.
But different. All right, so I'm going to get you to put on these headphones.
All right.
I'm going to play you quite loud drum and bass music.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to say some phrases to you that my lovely producer has provided for me. You can't look at them.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah, I'm ready.
That'll be cheating.
Let's go.
So let me just swap you into headphone mode, and then we're gonna have a go.
All right.
Can you hear me? No, I'm joking. When it works. There we go, perfect. So you should be able to hear. Oh yeah, I can hear that. All right, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Huh? She can't hear me, this is great. Okay, I'm gonna start with the first phrase. Let's give that a little one. All right. Ooh. Noise pollution is bad for birds.
Huh? What? What's bad for birds?
You're kind of there.
Okay.
Yeah. Next one.
What is bad for birds?
Noise pollution.
Huh?
It's okay, next one.
Oh, okay, next one. All right, let's go. Half a point.
Half a point. Jungle is still massive.
London is massive.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, what? That's not fair.
Okay, almost.
All right.
Right, got Love Saves the Day.
Something about Love Saves the Day.
Yeah!
Yes.
Yeah,
But what were you
congratulations.
saying about it?
The name.
What?
I'll do the last one.
Last one.
Last
All right,
one.
got you.
Okay. Andy Radford is the best professor ever.
Nah. Nothing.
You take these off.
Huh?
Take them
Oh,
off.
okay.
That last
Ah.
one was Andy Radford is the best professor ever.
Oh, well, don't I know that?
There. Don't we all? All right.
Well, found that really interesting. So we're gonna figure out what the birds must feel. People in cities can often be unaware of the bird species that surround us or knowing which songs belong to which bird. So our correspondent quizzed some of Bristol's residents on their knowledge of these everyday bird songs. And let me tell you, the results are pretty interesting.
Ooh, can't wait to hear more.
Here we are in Royal Fort Gardens, and we're here to talk about birds. We're going to ask people what their favourite birds are, their favourite bird songs. We're also going to ask some serious questions about what people think of noise pollution and its effect on urban bird populations, and why someone might come here to a place like Royal Fort Gardens on a beautiful summer evening and listen to birdsong in the first place. So we're here with Sam, and Sam wants to talk about birds. So we're here with
Alex.
I'm also Alex.
Great name.
So we're going to talk about birds, even though Alex...
very limited knowledge of birds, I know. Almost close to nothing.
I was going to just ask you, what's your favourite bird?
Ooh, quite like robins. I feel like they're quite nice.
Yeah, like any particular reason?
Quite quite orange. I feel like they're quite distinctive.
Favourite birds? I'm gonna go with penguins or flamingos, or you know, they're not. I don't really feel like they're the birds you guys are gonna be looking for.
Do you have a favourite bird song or any bird songs that you recognise over others?
I'd say like wood pigeons, quite distinctive.
Quite a comforting sound.
Yeah, I feel like they stand out quite a lot, I suppose.
Yeah, it's like kind of a nostalgic, kind of sound to some people. The wood pigeon.
Yeah, I'd say it reminds me of being at home.
There was like a British bird, maybe.
A British bird. The classic pigeon. Very humble. Love them. I think they're great. You know.
Do you go to music festivals at all?
I do.
Were you at Love Saves this weekend?
I was at Love Saves. Yeah.
Who was your favourite performer?
Oh god, I quite like Sammy Vergy.
Okay, cool. If Sammy Vergy was a bird, like, which one would he be?
God.
We're actually asking people about Love Saves the Day, which was at the weekend, and how that affected like bird populations. This is interesting because I guess you have to consider like the vibe of the bird and the vibe of the performer.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Do you like birds? Do you want to talk about them on camera?
Parrot. I don't know. I feel like, a bit of colour, music and that.
As festivals go, it's not something that I would consciously associate with birds. But yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if is it like the noise pollution sort of scares birds away.
Yeah. There's a lot of research which like goes to show that bird populations, especially mating populations, will disperse when there's these high intensity noise bursts that you get with festivals. No, it's honestly, it'll be really fun. It'll be like 2 minutes here. Maybe ask them. Okay. Do you ever escape to the countryside to get sort of closer to nature in that way?
Probably not as much as I would like, to be honest. I mean, areas like this are nice. I don't drive, so it feels maybe a little inaccessible sometimes to just pop to the countryside now and then, and I'm a bit of a city person, so it feels like, it's nice to have little spots like this where you can sort of get that feeling of escape while still being in a city.
I'm going to give you a quiz now on some common British birds, but we're going to see how much people know about them, and if you could put those on for me.
We'll use the bird app.
Do you know what we can hear right now up in this tree here? Would you be able to identify this bird song?
I'm gonna guess a finch of some kind, of some description.
Sounds like a bird.
I'm gonna point the mic up there. So that's actually a blackbird.
Okay, it's quite high pitched.
Yeah, it's quite like a nice fluty sound.
Yeah.
To guess which species this is. I really hope. Oh god. Blue tit. Is it robin?
It's a wren, unfortunately. So next one. What's this? We've started niche.
This is niche. I feel like I hear similar sort of sounds.
Okay, it's not that niche.
I've got to get a solid 0 in this. Blackbird.
Correct.
Figure out what the advert is here. What is this advert? So Go Compare? I don't know.
You could be right.
Is it Go Compare?
No, it's Pepto-Bismol.
Oh, it's completely different. It's a whole other ballpark.
Yeah.
Robin.
It's a coltet, unfortunately, but we're getting niche now. We're getting niche.
It sounds like a little bird. I think it's a teeny bird. I'm gonna say finch again. I know that's not like a species of bird.
It's actually a coal tit.
It's a
coal tit.
Coal.
In fact, I can hear a blackbird right now, which is lovely ambience for this segment. And I'm talking to myself in Royal Fort Gardens, which is a new low. So, hope you didn't find that too painful, because we're here live in Bristol, in an allotment in the heart of Bristol, and you guessed it, we're going to talk about birds again. And this time we're going to think a bit about, how those bird sounds that you hear every day in the city, we might even have to go so far as Ashton Court to hear them. This is a really good place for it too. As we saw, Sam and Alex's pretty shocking performance in the last segment there showed us that not many people know their bird songs that well, but that's fine. I get it. Some people might not know their blackbirds from their blue tits. Never fear, there is a wondrous app on your phone which can do it for you. Now, if you have a look here, this is Merlin. Merlin was designed by some very clever people at the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, and what it does is it basically uses AI to decipher birdsong from the surrounding noises, and essentially means that it's Shazam for birds. And as you can see here, if we hit record, see it sort of creates a noise print there of birds and sounds, and that there is my voice, that kind of black mark there. And what that means is you can get a really vivid picture, and I think we're hearing a bird there. Not quite,
This is the problem with live television and wildlife. Never really cooperates. But you get a really vivid picture of the sonic worlds that these birds live in. And I'm just gonna hold the phone up here to try and get a better sound. I think we're getting something there. There you go. So it's just got, as you can see, Eurasian blackbird, nice common garden bird there, and it's in there with all these other sounds. So you get an impression of the kind of sonic worlds these birds have to navigate in cities. And it also kind of creates this really beautiful, engaging with bird life in the city that we might not understand, and kind of listening to conversations that you didn't even know were happening. I think another thing that's great is it doesn't just show you the species, it shows you the rarity of each species. So you get this kind of Pokemon thing where you're going out to collect them, and that way you're kind of learning the songs as well. With that, it's back to the studio.
The truth is, you can be a festival head and care about your local wildlife. As we've learned, birds are essential for our planet, and their voices matter. Can you hear them? You can immerse yourself in nature, and once you do, you can truly appreciate all the sounds that surround you. What have you got?
So we've got a wren, a robin, a blackcap. See if any others come up.
Did you know that the local councils set decibel limits for the local residents, but not for local wildlife? We're asking you to contact your local councils to help raise awareness of how music festivals affect the communication between our beloved bird species. Even just taking a moment to sit and listen to the birds can help us reconnect with nature.
We've got time for now, folks. We're now reaching the end of this year's Better Planet Live.
We hope you've had fun, learnt something new and feel inspired to reach out to your local council so we can party and protect our local bird life.
This afternoon we've heard about how our wonderful pollinator heroes and how we can protect them, and lots about Bristol's local wildlife and how we can record it.
We've explored if crocs could infest Bristol waters, how you and urban biodiversity can hold each other up in a heatwave, and how small changes to our diet can make a big difference for both ourselves and the planet.
As Science Communication for a Better Planet students at the University of Bristol, it's been a pleasure sharing our weird and wonderful creative stories with you all.
With special thanks to Andy Wakefield, Steve Simpson, and the University of Bristol.
None of this would have been possible without our assistant producers, Erin Bowman, Imogen Peckett, and our executive producer, Ellie Mackay.
Woo! The stream will be available to watch, rewatch, and rewatch as much as your heart's desire.
We'd love to hear from you one last time. Comment down below something new you've learned. We'd love to hear it.
Remember to like and subscribe, Nature Heads.
Good night.